a sound. Ahem. A little bit of this, a little bit of... Oh. Oh my. Well, that's a sound. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, just knock things over, why don't we? Why don't we just throw things, you know, like animals? Why don't we just toss it? Like so much trash. Hello, greetings, salutations all. Very good to see you, how you doing? How's stuff, how's things? We've got a scatterbus, we'll answer the question ahead of time in case everybody's like, what the hell is he drinking? A scatterbus, which is really freaking good for how young it probably is for its price point. But alright, let me turn this thing out. Let me get where it's out there. My microphone on? It seems so. Clicky clicky indeed. You did indeed hear the clickety clack. Don't talk about it. You did. You did hear it. Better go to see you guys. How you doing? Happy Weekend's Eve. Cheers to you. I'll be doing that again. I'll be doing that again once we get into it. Once we get into it. Okay. Everything working? Looks like Twitch, hooray. Twitch is a little bit behind. Rumble is ahead. It knows the future. And YouTube is way behind. Who's surprised? Come now. Come now, tell me. Who's surprised by this? You're like, yeah, I just don't know. I don't see it. I don't know. And then lurks are not current. You can rate it out. You can help the rest of your stream went well. Who are you? Who the actual devil? I don't know this. I don't know this human. We don't know them. We don't know them. We don't trust them. We don't trust them. Orm. Here, Gochi. You ended. And you, who are you? You rated out. Get lost. You ended. You're still going. Of course you are, gamer. Of course you are, gamer. You do be gamerin'. We do be gamerin'. Oh my goodness. Nerd went live. Spartan went live. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Friends before frames. Jeez, they are many. They are legion. They are multitudinous. That's right. Multitudinous. Who out there doesn't like the word multitudinous? You tell me. Who doesn't like it? It's a perfectly good word. For all of you what be calling out them multitudinousness. Do we like? I don't know. I don't know. Who else likes this word? It's a good word. I like it, but then again, some of you don't read, so I don't know. Oh, what? Very good. Who? My goodness gracious. All right, we're checking our lurks. We're checking. Everything looks to be more or less in place. Now let me catch up. Who the heck goes there? Who goes there? Wild is there. I appreciate the lurk. Wild means an awful heckin' lot. An awful heckin' lot. And Duckling, it's good to see you. Leanne, a very good pleasure. A pleasure is indeed mine. Leanne, we call out Leanne. I think I saw the good doctor as well. We call out the good doctor too. I think we do. Very good to see you, lovely lot. Hello, Judge. Welcome in, Judge. Welcome. Stream Hub. Hello, Stream Hub. It's very good to have you. Very good to make your acquaintance. I don't know how you found our humble little corner of the interwebs, but it's very good indeed to have you. Very good. I don't know what brings you around this, my humble space, my humble corner of the entire net, but I'm glad indeed to have you, and I hope you've got a good drink in of hand for the night yet ahead of us. Welcome, gang. Everybody say hi, Stream Hub. Bravo! Hello, Bravo. The dawn has returned. Very good to see you back. My goodness gracious. Coming back for more, eh? More? A glutton for punishment, listen. A glutton for punishment. I'm glad of it. I'm glad of it, Bravo. I hope that Weekend's Eve finds you well, new friend. Yes. Yes, indeed. Hot tip. Steal the perfect year you want. Steal? No. Graphene. Steel is so like the last century, silly. Graphene. Come on. Blinker fluid. Guts. Hi, Guts. Also, blinker fluid. Apex pack. The secret ingredient is crime. No, don't do a criminal. Don't do that. Listen. They frown on it. Okay. Whew. Wow, that was harrowing, you guys. That was harrowing. We got there in the end. Oh, we're just bawling our eyes out now, though. It's all so upsetting and sad. Guts, you did this to me. Okay. We made it. We survived the thing. I didn't mean to click on that. Uh-oh. Listen, I broke it. Did I highlight that? Did I highlight that? My bad. Where's like unhighlight? I feel like there was a button for this. I don't know, I broke it. I broke it. Okay, disappointment pack for Guts. Disappointment pack for Guts. Where we go? We're Guts. We got you. It's on the ledger. It's on there. Okay. Hi, everybody. That's right, Duckling. That's right. That's right. Howdy, howdy. Off to bed. Good to see you, silly. Don't do a criminal. Don't do a criminal. Don't do it like this. Ahmed! It's good to see you, my friend. We hitting that live button. It's true. It's good to have you, sir. Good to have you. What we pouring? Scarabus. That's right. Better go. Better go. There he is. I was talking about you. Wait, did you hear me talk about you? Like, I don't know. Feeding dogs / cats, walking dogs. But I'm here, baby. This actual gentleman. Dude ends stream like literally 6 seconds ago. Count him out, and here he is. What an actual freaking gem. Unbelievable. Doctor! If that is your real name. It's good to see you, Doctor. Turns out doctors are turning up like weeds around these parts. Like weeds. There's a lot of them. It seems. I don't know. I'm not the one who decides such things. I don't know. Intra! Hi, Intra. Very good to see you. How you doing? How's weekend? Do you find you? Mel! Hi, Mel. Thank you for calling out the good doctor. I appreciate it. Hello. Hello. How is you doing? A hat tip to you. A hat tip to you. I like these words. Yes, multitudinous. It's very good. It's a very good one, my friend. We're big fan. Big fan. We've got classy dumpies that know that word is true. Multitudinous indeed. Multitudinous indeed. Oi, Kira. Hi, Kira. Kira, listen. Your sage counsel on how the heck to handle spooters. Did you? I wasn't there for very long, Kira. I mean, obviously I was lurking the whole time, but I wasn't like present. You know what I mean? Did you offer advice? Like, did you put forth advice for them on how to handle spooters, or were you just like, we'll see? Like, were you hands off in your like coaching approach? Was this like a test? I don't know if you like offered your expertise, or you were just like, let him bin. I know that was more Kiwi, but like, you know what I mean. You know what I'm after. You know what I'm after, dang it. Do Kiwis know their way around spooters? I assume so. I assume they have to. Like, same neck of the woods and all. Same neck of the woods. I don't know. But hi, everybody. Might be getting sick. Hoping not. Haven't the time for such silly things. Same dang being sick. Not on the list. Actually, that's a pretty good example of something I should put on tonight's list. Hang on. Being sick. We're gonna get it in there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. No advice was given. Dang, they will learn one way or another. These ones are called jumpers. Jumpers. Very good, jumpers. Let them. What do? They jump. These are ones are called flyers. What do? They fly. Right, these ones, fallers. What do? They fall. On your head, mostly. Walk under a tree. Waterfall. On your head. Now it's in your hair. Now what? Now what you gonna do about it? It's in your hair. It's in your hair. Can't get it out of your hair. It's in there now. It lives in there. Its whole family lives in there. What are you supposed to do? Can't kill them all. You just gotta live with it. Beware the fallen spiders. Yeah, hugs indeed. Don't get sick. Yeah, this is the first time I've enjoyed your company with a beverage. I'll bet. I love that intro. I love that for me. I love that for we. The caliber of company. It improved. Pinkies out. Pinkies out. Intro having a drink. What you tipping on? Gang, I'm going to ask again when we get into it, but ingredients, components of a proper Gus Talk include good drink. It doesn't need to be alcoholic, but let me know in chat what it is you are partaking of, if anything. It could be water, okay? It could be tea. It could be coffee. It could be any number of various accented beverages or pronunciated beverages. It could any number of them. I'm drinking Scatibus. This is an Isla pour. I like it. I like it quite a lot, actually. For the price point, like, honestly, it's really unbeatable. I've never had an Isla at this price point that is, like, totally sound. For, again, how young it likely is. Pretty darn smooth. Like, I don't get... Let me see here. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's also not like an underproof. No, that's, there's very little hate and discontent in that pour. Very little. For that price point, which is shocking, given like the Wee Beastie and others that are young and angers, filled with hate. They are filled with hate. Cakes, I saw, dude. What's going on? What's going on, fam? What you up to? Cakes. We thought of something. It was about you yesterday. Hot Pride and I saw it. What the hell was it? Oh, that's right. It was the attitude of New Yorkers. It was, hey, you know how everybody else just calls New Yorkers rude? Well, that's because in New York, you don't drive anywhere, you walk everywhere. So all the stuff, all the hate and discontent that you spew elsewhere in the country/world, behind the wheel, behind the safety of glass and plastic and metal, where no one can hear you, calling people names, calling people stupid, shouting at them to get out of your way, slurs, you know, whatever else you're slinging, you guys just do it in person to your face because you're mobiling around via Subaru. So you're on the streets. This is it. But because like it's just the same hate and discontent as everybody else. But your mode of transportation is Subarus. Ours is behind the wheel of a car. So it's the same hate and discontent across the country. Ours is just muffled by glass and plastic. What do you think about this assessment, Cakes? Or do you think there's a distinction? Do you think you guys have an edge on hate and or discontent? Or do you think it's overblown and actually the people who have all that behind the wheel are worse? I don't know. What's your take? What do you guys think? Now I want to contribute. Oh, not how I want to contribute, but okay. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, it's on the list now, Mel. It's on there now. I appreciate it. Diggsy! It's good to see you, Diggs. Welcome on in. How's you? Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. I hope that 2026 has been kind to you so far. It is to be hoped. It is to be hoped. Welcome on in. Welcome. Martin! Very good to see you, sir. Very good indeed. Again, I know your 2025 didn't round out exactly how you'd imagined, but I hope 2026 has been kind to you. And hopefully that the material that I'm going to be teaching tonight for the proper Gus Talk, first, an actual proper Gus Talk of 2026, I hope is helpful to you guys. I hope it's instrumental and beneficial in a tangible sort of way for seeing that 2026 is indeed better than 25 or 24 or whatever. You know, obviously it like gets kind of worse as we go back and near, you know, the 2020. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Personally, I have tea. All right, Intro. All right, Intro's got tea. Oh, Kira's got coffee. Hello, hello, Blue. Good to see you, Blue. How you doing? Welcome on in. Sorry, I'm so behind on chat. It's forever the case, Blue. You haven't known me very long, but stick around a while and you'll be like, ah, yes, that's Gus, just perennially behind. It's tough. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Retro, I appreciate the lurk. Means an awful lecking lot. Thank you for calling out, Retro. Means an awful lot. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the lurk work. How do you make tea Australian? Well, tea? What do you mean? What, tea? Blackberry JD, oh, with cherry coke. Wouldn't usually ruin it like that, but it's all I got. Oh, okay. I got you, Diggsy. I got you. Hey, listen, to each their own. Everybody's got something to sip on. It is to be hoped. It is to be hoped. I appreciate you telling me. Same old. Okay. Got you. It's on foot, Road Rage. Right. Okay, Subaru is crazy work. That's how we get around. It's how we get around. I've been saying Subarus. Everybody's like, how's your main mode of transportation? Depends on the branch that you're in, right? If you're in the Army, it's going to be a truck or a tank or something. If you're in the Air Force, you know, you're going to be flying either some sort of bird or a chair. And if you're in the Navy, you're squidding it around out there on the floaters, like doing you on a boat. But, like you know what I'm talking, like T-Pain, obviously. But Marine Corps, Subarus. That's it. And then like bumping someone on the shoulders, like getting into a small bender. Them fender benders, y'all. Typically can be resolved really quick. My bad, but can lead to a scrap. Right. My bad. Check for things. Check out how your insurance is. What's your health insurance like? Cause you know, we finna fight. Guts. I have a drafen. I think you mean a dragon fruit, but I am also holding out hope that there's something called a drafen fruit or drafon fruit. Maybe it's drapon. Maybe it's really pinky as out and it's a drafon fruit. Like, is this a Rana thing? Did he come out here with the drafen? The drafon. Is he like at you about your pronunciation? He does that with me. He's like, that's not what French people sound like at all. And I'm like, oh, oui, baguette. Mon chéri. And I don't know. Last I heard, he's still recovering from the aneurysm I gave him with my French. My solid command of the French language. I hope he's on the mend because, you know, I'm not done bastardizing his language. Bastardizing the mother tongue. Bloody slow walkers, tell 'em, Kira. With their little four bangers and their Subarus, you know. They're not in a hurry to be anywhere. Eggnog hot chocolate, okay. I got you. I see you. I see your eggnog hot chocolate. Very well. Very well. Dragon fruit. Darn. I was really hoping this was a French thing. Drafon. Entendu. Worst are bike lane people, though. They just yell at cars, people, everyone. We finna. That's true. We finna fight. We gotta scrap. It has to happen. If your insurance is in order, like, listen, do you got liability or what? Cause, like, sleeves are rolled. It goes down. 3 pum at the flagpole. Meet me there and don't bump into me along the way. I said don't bump into me. I said don't bump into me. Walking down toward a flagpole. That's the way. Anyway, the worst here at the moment. Keep riding on the windy, blind corners. Oh, the windy. Surprised not many have been taken out yet. Well, they're agile, you know. They're experienced, Kira, in ducking the drop spiders. The drop spiders. You know what I'm saying? The ones up in the tree. Like drop crocs. But spiders. So they're like, whoa, 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 bobbing and weaving from the spiders. Helps with the cars, too. Because if you can dodge a spider, dodge an automobile. That's right. I'll show you one day bike lane people are demons, I swear. Now, see, I've seen a lot of other videos, too, where people, like, don't respect bike lanes. And so someone's, like, in the bike lane, and people are just, like, walking in the bike lane as if it were a sidewalk. And it's like, hey, pay attention. It's basically a car lane for small cars and spandex. And that's, you know, lots of people get like, hello? So I've seen like GoPros and stuff from like cyclists who are riding down the city in their bike lane. And they're like, hello, bike lane. And people are like, oh, what? And I'm like, you are in a bike lane. Oh, me? Yes, you. What? It's like you're walking down the road and cars come up behind you and honk. Are you honking at me? I'm walking it. Right, in the car spot. That's where the cars go. You know, we all got places to be. There's plenty of hate and discontent to go around. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying, sometimes you gotta. People have the right of way. Unless they are blindly crossing it as if they weren't treating it like a car lane. Because often bikes have like dedicated lights and stuff. And like they go, but pedestrians be standing in the bike lane. It's like, you're in the way. You're gonna get run over. So, a cross between a dragon and a griffin. A draffin. Yeah, it's the one. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. Bike people will run you over and then try to fight you for it. Yes. The forever back and forth. Twixt the pedestrians and the cyclists, yes. Yep. I've done a little bit of road riding in my life, and that's because I had a buddy in college who's a big cyclist. Mostly mountain, but like when he didn't have like mountain stuff to do, we did road, like weather not permitting, equipment, like geographically. If the trails weren't amazing, we'd do some road stuff. Plus, it's more accessible. Somewhat cheaper, depends on what you got going on. And so I got him into weightlifting, okay, and then body weight workouts and all that jazz. Which it wasn't his favorite, but the compromise was like, all right, I'll ride bikes with you if you do weightlifting with me, right? So if you help me, if you spot me, if you do the body weight stuff, if you do a cool kid like gym bro stuff, which I did much more of back then, the gym bro stuff. Now I'm bigger on the calisthenics, the bodyweight stuff, the planche, push-up, the stuff you guys have seen. Now, I was like, all right, I'll do cycling with you. And so I used like one of his old hand-me-down bikes and stuff like that, and I did a couple rides. And then the longest ride I ever did was a century ride. Indeed, 100 miles per the name. That sucked. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Big time lousy. 100 miles on a road, you guys. Going freaking fast, too, because I was riding with, like, advanced cyclists who know what the hell they're doing. And I'm just like, pfft. I almost died, okay? I almost died on that little jaunt. It was for charity or something. They're like, won't you think of the cancer? And I'm like, thought we didn't like cancer. They're like, do it for the cancer. Anyways, the tenure of me as a road cyclist was short-lived. That's the moral of that story. The longest ride I'd been on, by the way, prior to the century ride was 40 miles. And let me tell you, it showed. It showed when I got to that century ride. Greetings, salutations, very good to see you, Wang. Dude, I thought it was a pretty clean look, I'm not gonna lie. Also, have you lost like a lot of weight? I just caught up. Wang, I'm being vague on purpose because I don't know what you've shared publicly or want to share, but you look good, dude. You look good. Like, what the heck? Last time I saw a picture of you was last year, 2 years ago, something like that. You were a bigger dude. What's going on? You're looking good. Looking clean. Bobbert! Hello, Bobbert. Good to see you, Sir Bobbert of Bobberton. This gentleman, I swear. Little work break done. Like an hour. I'll lurk when I'm home. But how are we, guys? It's good to see you, my dude. I'm doing okay. I'm better now that you're here. Better now that you're here. Yes, indeed. And I'm glad to be doing a proper real Gus talk. This one is fairly short in terms of like ideas, concepts that I'm going to be bringing to bear. You guys, tonight is going to be like immediately applicable, something that you guys can work around, a framework to think about the year in, and it's going to be pretty quick to deliver and hopefully useful to you. It's not going to be part of a real series or anything. It's not going to be continued. We're going to be kind of short to the point. In fact, I'm thinking that depending on how quickly I get through the material tonight, I'm leaning toward having a little bit of just chatting time on the back end behind the paywall. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It'd be a first. Mouse! Hello, Mouse. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you very much. Did very much. Oh, yeah. It calls out the mouse when we seize the mouse. How you doing? Good time zones, too. Izzy! Oh, good to see you, Doctor. I appreciate the lurk. I appreciate your bandwidth, and I hope you're doing so gosh darn good, Izzy. Big fan. You? Century Ride? I disagree. Recommend it. No. 0 out of 10. Recommend. Wow. You're a wizard, Perry. Perry! That's right. You're a wizard, Perry. If you guys aren't familiar, what's going on over on Rumble, if you guys aren't seeing the chat here on screen, then you don't even know about the Perry Dumpy. That's crazy. We are multi-streaming, you guys. We're on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube. We are multi-streaming. We are spread loaded. This project, this community, you guys, and what it is I'm trying to build for your benefit is too important to lose to a rogue platform doing something untoward. So, yeah, we're spread loaded. You can follow on all of them. You can lurk on all of them, too. If you're on a PC, pull up a tab on all tree if you're feeling spicy. If you're feeling very, very spice. Very nice. I always appreciate it. I get paid. I get actually like a paycheck for those of you guys who just like passively watch on Rumble, whether it's watching the live streams or watching the uploads, the edits. We have uploads that go up every single Sunday right now. Every single one of them. It's pretty darn cool. And it's because of that fella. I'm pointing like vaguely over there, like you know precisely which one I'm pointing at. But it's because it's Sir Tier. That dude, that fine dude over there, that keeper. That dude, so any good that comes from that project, point in his general direction. That good. My good. It's good to see you. Are you awake? He's like, sleep, what is that? Shakes from energy drinks. I know, stop it. It's madness. Friend hold Guinness Book of World Records for cross-country pace on a single speed. Bike races? 3 of them? On a single? Dude, on single speeds? Wait, like a fixie? No. Like a fixie? Dude, Bobbert. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you that I've done a century ride because I don't think I've told anybody that I did a century ride. It's not exactly something I go around telling folks. Boom! Good to see you! Welcome, sir. It's good to have you back on the interwebs, my friend. I'm joking. I'm joking on nothing. Gang, if you guys don't know Boom has gone through it a little bit. So the fact that he's back on Twitch right now, he was streaming today, is pretty darn cool. So it was really neat to see so many of you guys there today, but go give him a look. Certainly a unique streamer, that dude. Certainly a unique guy with a unique set of skills. Not the Liam Neeson kind. More of the... I don't remember the character's name in A Knight's Tale. The gal who, like, invented steel. That's what I'm likening you to. I don't know I don't remember her name. But that's you. That's him. That's him. Thank you kindly. I may have lost weight. I haven't been keeping track. It looks it, dude. I don't know. You look good. You look good. I like it. I like it. Wait, I say what? Hey, Wang, that's hilarious that Wang got censored. That's hysterical. Absolutely feral. This crazy platform, am I right? I'm excited. That's right, very excited. Not fixed, just single. Okay. I'm like, damn, fixie people? With your, like, rolled up jean leg? Stop that. Don't get all choked up. Listen. Instructions unclear. Clicked on link. That's the one. Kate? Good reference, though. I've been known to reference a thing or three, Sir Bobbert of Bubberton. A thing or three, sometimes, not all of the time, but some of the time, by definition, because I've done it more than 0. I've been known to reference a thing or three. It's true, it's there. It's the one. I don't remember her name, Boom, so I'll take it. Bet. Ayo, Boombox! That's one. That's the dude. The Boombox is very close to Boombox cakes, which is why I'm partial to him. I haven't ever told him that. This is actually sort of a coming out origin story tale here. Is that we're coming clean with the origin of this. Is yeah, I was partial to him from the first. As soon as I met him, I'm like, boom, body. very close to Boombox. And you know how we feel about Boombox, you guys. You know how, look, we got a whole command, you guys. Boombox. Look. Hello? We have a command for boomboxes. Yay tier indeed, Duckling. Yay tier indeed. It's me over there screaming about tier. Wow, that's me. Me. Yeah, boy. Scrimbin' about tier. He's kind of a keeper. I think we all keep him. I think we ought to keep him. I don't know what you guys think. We can fire him, but I think we ought to keep him. That's right. That's, yeah, exactly. I'm heckin' doing over here. She do be doing. She do be. I'm getting back, man. So glad it's all sorted out. Yeah, I'm given to understand that it's not 100% sorted out. There's still some things to tie up. There's some like wreckage still. It's never gonna be like perfect again, but he is at least on Twitch, and I'm pretty happy about that. Because your name disappeared from my list yesterday. I was looking to pull you up, not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Your name was not on my list. I went to go pull you up in the morning, and I scrolled down to the spot that I know you are, because I was going to pull you up early, and your name wasn't there. And I'm like, mother... I was salty. I'm like, and he gone. And then shortly after, probably within the next hour or two, I heard, you got your stuff back. And I was like, oh, bet, okay. And then I went and looked, and there you were. So, like, it was back. So, I don't know how they had to do it all, but yeah, you vanished from my list. That was harrowing. I didn't like it, not one bit. Boombox was the best time ever. It was a, like, that's capturing lightning in a bottle, okay? Because that's what that is right there. Lightning in a bottle. If you didn't see the latest Stanley Parable edit, you feature heavily, obviously. Obviously. What a stream. Very good indeed. Mostly sorted. Mostly. Good news! The hacked Gmail account is locked and suspended. Bet! That is good news. We take those. Shut it down, baby. I'm calling a win. Absolutely. We take it. We take those. Okay, gang, if you are new around here, we're going to get locked in. We're going to lock in. I'm going to miss some chat. I'm going to miss chat. Appreciate having you guys in. If you're newer on these parts, if I've only had the pleasure of making your acquaintance in the last couple months here, or weeks for some of you, you might not be familiar with how proper Real Gus Talks go. These are designed to be the other half of what I believe are integral to real relationships, the kind I aim to encourage and also, mostly incidentally, but also hopefully, foster here in the Mafia community, okay? So yes, you can follow on Rumble, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, do all those things, that's great. But join the Mafia community Discord. It's the hub of all that we get up to. It's where the hard work happens. It's where the hard mode, heavy lifting, it's where the growth happens, okay? That's the hub of it. If you're interested in knowing more about what we get up to, different projects, different activities, different community get-togethers, and all that jazz, some plans that we've got, ping one of the consulente. They're sort of the caretakers of the community in the Discord. Ping any one of them. Ask about the rendezvous, the CNRs, the Cosa Nostra rendezvous. If you are not yet plugged in on Wednesdays, we've got more information forthcoming about those. In fact, I'm going to talk about them, I believe, unless something crazy happens, I'm going to be talking about them pretty exhaustively here in the next couple weeks. I'm going to dedicate a talk, maybe two, probably just one, to that. There's going to be more announcements about that because there's some big stuff coming. Big stuff. I've already said that this year is going to be one of big changes, moving, shaking. That will be true here. So, if you're new around these parts, get plugged in with the community. Part of real relationships, again, the kind I'm going to encourage everybody to pursue as if your life depends on it, because they do, is that they involve, real relationships involve silly and serious. And we do both around here, okay? So the gamer ring that we get up to, the mouth breathing on Tuesdays, and tomorrow night's stream at 5 p.m. now, I gotta remember this, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We don't do the 9 to 5, we do the 5 to 9. Tomorrow nights do indeed involve quite a lot of silliness, and that is that's where that takes place, that half of it, okay? But the seriousness, often, when I'm able to write, when I'm able to plan things, when I'm able to get all that hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm able to get my schedule sorted out for the next couple weeks, months here, and I get to offload things, hand over hats to people, which means that will give me more time to write, more time to work out these talks, the series of these things, the seriousness. This is where I sort of get to help encourage you guys proper like. I get to coach you. I get to answer questions asked and unasked. And that's what we're doing tonight. Tonight is a proper real Gus talk where I'm going to be talking about our schedules. I'm going to be talking about priorities in life and how we actually bake that into a personal responsibility sort of schedule. You can also have community responsibility with these things, but planning your perfect year. And that's going to be a perfect year, which is broken into perfect months, perfect weeks, and some perfect days. Okay, so that's where we're headed tonight. Now, I do not get to partake of component, ingredient, element number 2 tonight, but element number 1 of an ideal talk is good drink. So tonight I'm having the Scarabus, the Isla Pour, and big fan of this. It's a peated, again, really incredible for the price point. I like it quite a lot, so that's what I've got. Element number 2 would be good smoke, good cigar. I do not get to have a cigar tonight. I still have not sorted out all the logistics for returning to those this year, but I will. The chief impediment to that, the chief obstacle, the chief logistics concern at this point is I've not restocked. I need to get my humidification system sorted because you guys know we mothballed and shut everything down for all of last year, all of 2025. I was like, no booze, no smoke, health reset year. So now I'm going to be returning to it. None of my humidification stuff is in order. I gotta recondition humidors. I gotta get humidification systems back up and spun up. And then I gotta get smokes. And then I gotta season those. So I'm a little ways out from getting to be able to return to the smokes. Plus, since our finances are a bit weird because of, medical stuff at the end of this last year, I'm being a little more conservative on how I'm going to handle those because they are, they're fun to have, but they're not exactly a fiscal necessity. So I'm kind of tightening the belt a little bit on fun things. All of the good drink and all the rest of the stuff that I've got here is all left over from 2 years ago, incidentally, because we didn't have any last year. So the Bunnahaben and several of these other things that I've tried with you guys so far this year are actually from 2024. Fun fact. We've all been collecting dust. Except for the Ardnaho, right? Is that what it was? The Ardnaho? Yeah. The Ardnaho inaugural. That was new. That's a new one. But, yeah. Yeah. We'll see about that. So, okay. Element number 1, good drink. Element number 2, good smoke. Sadly, don't get to partake of that. But if you're having a cigar here tonight, let me know which. And then element number 3, good company. And this is where each week I come empty-handed, dear friends. This is where I must needs lean on y'all. You guys showing up, you guys sacrificing of your time, your energy. I know you've come off of the end of a week. It is my hope that this can be a place for those of you who have a schedule that allows for such, to unwind a bit, okay? Loosen the tie a little, as it were. Pull up a comfy chair, pour something good. Doesn't need to be alcoholic, but pour something. And soak in some serious ideas that are perhaps life benefiting. Something that you can handle, something that you can absorb and implement while your work week is not a bunch of sirens screaming in your ear right now, or people pinging you or bothering you or saying, where are you? Why are you late? So hopefully you are able to join for tonight, give some thought to the things, the places we're going, these ideas. And yeah. So it speaks volumes about the caliber of human who chooses that, by the by. The ones who know that Friday nights are typically for difficult things, who saw that tonight's go live and said, yeah, I could do this. I could do some serious. Despite all this stuff that's happening in my world, I can do some serious. I got this. And it's to you, that incredible caliber of human, whom I'm fortunate indeed to do life alongside, that I get to raise my glass tonight. To you, that very sort, whom I aim to serve and hope to do so well for. Cheers to you. Mm. super inoffensive. I think if I were going to introduce someone to an Isla, like a peated Isla, a proper Isla, I might go with the Scarabus. It's really inoffensive. There's a lot of them that are just like gonna kick in your teeth like you're drinking a campfire. That's what I keep telling people. There's a lot of them that'll do that. The first Isla I had was a Laga. I want to say it was the flagship Laga. That was tough. That was, I didn't like that. No, I didn't. But this, and maybe it's just because my taste buds are bastardized beyond use. I don't know, but it's awfully nice. All right, banners on. We're closing the door, gang. Raids are disabled. Raids are disabled. Big thanks to everybody who makes this possible, by the way. All of you guys who've sacrificed, whether it's through Rumble, Coffee, Patreon, however it is, those of you who have subscriptions to this, those of you who part with some fixed amount that you've dedicated to this, that you're like, nope, this is a thing that ought to exist, and I'm going to sacrifice to give it a future so that it can benefit others. I'm incredibly grateful to each of you who've done that. In particular, I'm grateful to the public patrons who've taken that support to the next level. Aki, Dano, Duckling, Leanne, Goose, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pre, Retro, Rick, Ryan, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, C General 1, and Zin. Thank you guys. It means an awful heckin' lot. An awful heckin' lot. I've said this before. Any good that comes from this project, or indeed tonight's talk, can be traced right back to you, lovely lot. Thank you. And to all of you who've been the proof of concept for this hard mode humaning thing, each of you that I get to do life alongside consistently on Wednesdays for the rendezvous, each of you who are in a crew, and you make a point of being there, I will be referencing you through tonight's material, but I wanted to say here at the outset, I am in your debt as well. I am massively benefited by your like and by the sacrifice that it takes to commit to such a thing. I hope you too are benefited from it as we endeavor to get good at this humaning thing. So, thank you. This week was illuminating, getting to talk to so many of you about some pretty weighty things. Okay. I have poured cereal. Bet. The good drink is cereal milk. That's the good one. Tonight I have Dr. Pepper cream soda and blackberry moonshine. Okay, I got you. That's kind of close to what Diggsy's got. That's kind of close to what you got going on, Diggs. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's got the same vibes. It's got the same feel. All right, raids are disabled. I'm not gonna do the follower only chat. I never liked that. Never liked it. If I can stay away from it, I want to. But yeah, I'm gonna miss chat for sections of this thing, you guys. It is my aim to get through this fairly quickly and then have time for questions. Some of which I'm gonna be fielding. I think, I'm planning, depending on time management tonight, because I don't know how into the weeds I'll go with a lot of these bullet point concepts I have. But I'll be doing some of that behind the paywall tonight. So if you are not on Rumble, consider following on Rumble. And then if you are at all interested in supporting this project and getting behind the forever paywall thing for all of the platform, here's something I wanted to put to you guys for someone to test. Someone out there can test this, okay? I got a message from Rumble letting me know that there was a discount code that was New Year. Okay, all one word, New Year. And it was a 50% off Rumble Premium for the year. Okay, 50%. Now the normal amount is $99. That's the $99 you sign up annually. Okay, that's the discounted rate. Month to month, it's more. But if you sign up for a year, you save 15%. It's $99 for the year. The code New Year is apparently 50% off. It didn't say it had an expiration date. I got that message like around the new year. I didn't know if it was like for the day. I didn't know if it was for the week. And so if any of you are interested in signing up for Rumble Premium, or you want to go try, if you don't have it, on Rumble, click like right here. There's a big red button that says Premium. Sign up, Rumble Premium. Click on that thing and see if there's a spot, put in the code, and see if it gives you a 50% discount. I can't check this, incidentally. I am already on Rumble Premium. But I'd be grateful if anybody's interested in doing that. It's, yeah, one of the best ways to support my work. And yeah, it gets you access to everybody's paywall. Everybody's paywall everywhere on Rumble, the whole platform, for the whole year. So I'm on Rumble Premium everywhere. And again, you guys just having a tab open to watch on Rumble tonight means I get paid. I just got a paycheck from them for being part of the Rumble Creator Program. And that was totally separate from gifted subs, from ad revenue, from live read stuff, from everything. Okay, new year. I think so, Kira. That's what it was supposed to be. I'll double check right now, in fact. Let me double check the spelling. Scroll bar. Yeah, new year. All one word. Yeah. I don't know if it's still good. Again, it doesn't say anything about an expiration date. I apparently got this email sent to me on the 1st. I didn't even see it. I'm not often on top of what's happening in my inbox. So, yeah. I mean, I hope it works. I hope someone's able to benefit from that. I'm sorry. Maybe they were like for me, but mine doesn't even expire until like September or something, so I don't know. Ridiculous. Anyhow, yeah. There's always like a 10%, there's always a $10 off. So whenever I run the ad, whenever I run my live read for it, that includes the QR code over on the side, there's always a discount that it's studio, just the word studio, or not studio. The hell's the word? I can't think of it. Is it studio? It might be studio. I don't know. Whatever it is, there's always a $10 off one. So it's always $89 a year. Like, I never pay for the $99. But anyways, all of that, whatever it is you spend, 97% of it goes to support the creator whose page you click the link on. Okay, so like the Rumble Premium button on here. If you click it on my page, whether it's on a live stream or on one of my uploaded videos, whatever it is, that gets attributed to me. And 99% of that goes straight to me. It's direct support. The 3%, Rumble doesn't even take. That's a processing fee for the payment processor. That's it. So that's like a big like annual tip sort of deal. You're like, here you go for the year. Comes out to like $5 a month or something like that. If you got the discounted rate. So, or if you get the $89 annual, I think that's $7 something a month. I don't know. I can't do math. Math is hard. I've never claimed to be a mathematician. All right. Okay, I just tried. Not currently valid. Awesome. Thank you, Kira, for letting me know. All one word. New year. Yeah, it was all one word. That's what I just looked at. But yeah, it must have expired. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm bad. I want to say. I didn't read that message either. That's hilarious. Creator program. Rumble. Creator program. Welcome to the creator program. Yep, nope, can't find it. But I'm pretty sure it's studio. I'm pretty sure it's the discount. I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know it. I don't know it. How you doing, Hog? It's good to see you. Hello, welcome in. Welcome. Happy New Year to you. Why was that checked by mods? What? I see nothing. Question marks? Did I say something? Oh, do you mean the new year? Did you try a code? Wait, no, that wouldn't work. Anyways, what's up? Good to see you, Hog. Welcome in. Happy 2026. Welcome, welcome. There aren't mods. We don't have those. Okay, guys, we're gonna launch into the chat, the proper real Gus talk. As I'm going to hold forth and miss chat, I hope that you guys will help me out here and field some chat stuff, answer questions, welcome in the new joins, all that jazz. If someone asks for resources, point them toward them, please. I'd be in your debt because I can't do it. I can't do it by myself. I'm just over here suffering. So. Oh. I see. Well, I guess that's why it got held. Papa Bezos doesn't like a whole lot of things, Hog. A whole heckin' lot of things. All right, so tonight, gang, we're going to be talking about rocks. That's right. We're going to be talking about rocks. Boulders. Down to skipping ones. Pebbles. Gravel. Sand, even. Okay, we're going to be talking about all that stuff. Because tonight, I want to talk about your perfect year. This is a principle that I have heard about before. It's not something I ever got to do with ages and ages ago when I was first introduced to the concept. This year is the first time that I ever really appreciated doing all of this, and I'm trying to bring it into effect. I've talked to you guys in the past couple of weeks about what my vision is for 2026 and the years that follow, the expansion of the Mafia project, in my attempt to serve more people, to reach more people for this humaning endeavor that we are all here engaged upon, this hard mode business. In particular, as I've said before, the heart of that is the rendezvous, the CNRs on Wednesdays. This is our humaning gym. This is where we get our training in. This is where we get our reps in, okay? That's what we're doing. So my aim is to expand this thing. Why? Because if I am convinced, and I am, that this is a good thing, that this idea of the world is getting worse at humaning, posit, that's bad. Solution, we need to get better at humaning. If I am convinced that that is a good idea, a good solution to what I perceive to be a real problem, it doesn't make any sense for me to hide it under a bushel basket, as it were. We got to get it in front of more people. So how am I going to do that? Well, as I said last week, I've run up against a wall. This is a limitation, a human limitation sort of thing. I told you guys that before all the Hot Bride stuff happened, I did a time audit, which is where you just write down what you do with your day. Okay? I invite each of you to try this. It's illuminating. It's certainly illuminating. Just get out your phone or whatever it is and write down little bullet points. Here's what I did. Woke up this time. First hour, I did this. Second hour, I did this. Third hour, whatever it is. These hours, I went to work. These hours, I was commuting. These hours, I was eating dinner. Whatever. I watched TV. I sat down and I binged Netflix, whatever. I doom scrolled. Okay. Do a time audit for a week. Now, I did it for several weeks because my weeks were pretty different at the time. At the beginning of the stuff going on with Hot Bride, like before the hospitalization and all that, there was a lot still of like, what is happening now? A lot of big, unorthodox interruptions and disruptions where it was like, no, not 1 week. 1 week, no matter how I measured my time, was really representative of a typical week for me. And I would say that that wasn't true for a lot of the last 2 years in particular. While Hot Bride was doing nursing school, we had stuff with military. It was really kind of hard to pin down a representative week. So I did it with 3 separate weeks. And even then it was like, okay, you sort of take an average. All of them were illuminating. All of them highlighted to me, you could be saving time here. This time shouldn't be spent on this. And over the course of the last year to year and a half, I've really eliminated totally gaming outside of stream. I've done none. Okay, virtually none. That was time that I was irresponsible with. It's time that I decided I needed to sacrifice for this. I sacrificed quite a few things. And then in the last handful of months here, sleep. It's been coming at the cost of sleep. This is what I mean by I've hit a wall. I can cut out gaming. Great, that saves me however many hours per week. Neato. I could cut out doom scrolling. I mean, I wasn't doom scrolling anyways, but I could cut that out. Okay, that gives me a couple more hours a week, whatever it is, right? I could cut out, you fill in the blank with all the stuff that you do that's not terribly productive, or at least it doesn't move you toward achieving goals, big goals, life improvement sorts of stuff, things that you could be happy about and celebrate, the stuff that you would be pleased to achieve, okay? I could cut all that stuff out. And to a very large extent, I have. But there's still only 24 hours in a day. So you can refine, and that's great. Some of you content creators really understand this. You're like, with what hours? With what extra hours would I do this? Especially if you're running a company of any kind. Any of you small business owners, entrepreneurs of any kind, if you've got an inclination to do any of this, all of you, you will run into this. Starting any business project, any venture or endeavor, any side hustle, any Etsy shop that you want to run, any side gig, if you want to do a gig economy type stuff and you're doing DoorDash or whatever, if you're doing, you will run into a wall where you're like, where else can I find time? In the beginning, it can be very easy to say, I'll shave off some time here. I'll shave off an hour here. I'll shave off 20 minutes here. Maybe you shave 15 minutes off of your sleep. Now you're really trying to min-max stuff. There's only so much you can sacrifice. That's where I am. End of 2025, Hot Bride gets out of medical stuff. She still needs some help with some things. She still can't drive anywhere, is kind of one. So I drive her. If she's got to go somewhere, we had a doctor's appointment today. Driving to the south end of town, visiting with doctors and all that, I'm still the guy, okay? Whenever we're meeting with offices and doing all the cleanup for her medical stuff and all of her ongoing stuff that's going to be going into this year, I'm sort of her chauffeur right now. And I love spending time with her, so this isn't the worst thing in the world, but I'm, still really stretched for time. I'm up against a wall of where can I find an extra hour? They're all spoken for. That's why I want to talk about what I'm talking about tonight. Planning your perfect year. I've gone as far as one person can by himself. Last week I talked about handing off hats, handing over chunks of this business, roles, responsibilities to other people and saying, this is in your hands now. If it falls apart, just like this whole company so far and all of the aspects of it, all the things that have been going on, if it's all fallen apart up to this point, totally on me. I can't even point to somebody like, but you said, nope, it's me. All me. Now, still, the buck stops with me going forward. So the people that I elect to elevate to a position of responsibility, that I hand a hat over to, that I hand power, authority, responsibility to, buck still stops with me. Ultimately, their actions reflect me, and if they mess it all up, that still comes back to me. Yes. But there is well, I wasn't even trying to do that myself, and it falling apart doesn't reflect on me exactly. You guys know the distinction I'm after here. It's not exactly the same. So I'm going to be empowering people to run chunks of this. And that's pretty cool. So now I've been asked, hey, if you were to reclaim this time from this person, what will you use that time for? If you reclaim this role of running this company, what will you use that time for? Very good questions. Very good questions indeed. Now, this isn't going to be just for you creators. This isn't going to be just for entrepreneurs. This is going to be for all of you. This, I promise you, will be applicable to every single hearer of tonight's talk. Some of you, this will be more, your brain goes toward the entrepreneurial or business operation side of things. And so when you hear these ideas, you go, ah, yes, business will be your application. That's where your mind will go. Others, it will be relational. It will be maybe running a household. a marriage, or something like, maybe your brain will go that way, raising children. Maybe you've got like projects that you are a part of, community things that you steward, D&D groups that you guys run or maintain or DM for. They just called it DM, right? Is it a DM? GM? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Whatever. Your brains will go different directions with these, but I promise you it will be applicable to each of you. And it's really simple, okay? And it's got a really good visual to go with it, so you can't forget it either. It's pretty great. Okay, we're going to be talking about building out your perfect year then, your perfect year. We're doing this now for this reason. What I would like you guys to do, you can do it now. If you want to, you can start this now. You can pull this up now, and you can earmark it for your future use. Don't procrastinate on it, and I'll get to that at some point. You can start it now, and it'll snowball in the next couple days, okay? You can pull this up right now. This would be pull up a calendar. Pull up a calendar, like a calendar for 2026, the whole year, okay? Either a physical calendar, a digital calendar, whatever, however you want to do it. I prefer digital because they can be changed. It can be altered, okay? I also prefer a calendar that has some sort of visualization for blocks. Like if it's just the calendar on your phone, you put in the hours of something, right? And it'll block off like those hours as like a visual. So it's this thing's here, nothing. This thing's 4 hours long, so it's here, etc. This thing's only half an hour. Some sort of visualization that you've got. This will be helpful. This is based on the idea, an idea from Stephen Covey's 1989 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book that everybody's heard of. It's like one of those like popular sort of, especially business books, like of all of time. Okay. And this is going back a couple decades, of course, but it's still like a bestseller because the principles are fairly like timeless. And so you'll see that that's the case with this here tonight. The specifics of its implementation may change, but the principle does not. There's still 24 hours in a day, just like there were back then. Things may have gotten more efficient, a little more streamlined, but that just means we can do more things, doesn't it? Once upon a time, you guys will know. Once upon a time, it was, well, I want a washing machine that washes the clothes so that I don't have to spend hours scrubbing them and doing all this stuff. Well, okay, and you thought the advertisements, all of them back then were, this machine gets the job done faster and you'll use that time for leisure, right? Now it's always all the ye olde commercials way back when. If you go back and look at old-timey commercials, going back, you'll see like a washing machine was like, the time is now you reclining in a lawn chair by the pool, like that. That's time you're not spending doing laundry anymore. A dryer, no longer are you hanging stuff up on a clothesline and watching for the rain. No, that time is now spent reading a book. Like that's not how it worked in practice. We all know this, right? It's great. You've got a washer for everything, a dishwasher, a clothes washer. Everything is faster and easier now. That just means you've freed up time for more things. Once upon a time, it was this cooking project took you all day. Well, now you can get it done in half that time. So you've got time to do the dishes too. So you've got time to do the laundry too. Like, that's our lives in 2026, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys, you know. So you have a ton of things that happen in your life that just happen upon you. Call these like pebbles, okay? Little baby pebbles or gravel, sand even, little itty bitty things, okay? They each represent a chunk of your time. Now follow me for this visual. I talked to a couple of you about this. I'm gonna flesh it out some, okay? Picture a giant aquarium, okay? Big old huge aquarium here. Okay. It's nice. You can see through because it's an aquarium. All right. Got the visual. Big old gallon tank. Now you take all of those little things that take away your time. All the responsibilities that you've got, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a homemaker, a student, maybe you're still living at home with your folks, but you live on a farm or something like that. You've got all these responsibilities and chores, and you've got all this stuff that happens in your life. Every single thing. You take all of those things. Now, I would look at it from a business perspective, me. All the meetings, all of the decisions that I've got to make, all specific interactions with people that I've got, individual interactions I have, all of those are little bitty rocks, okay? And all of them are necessary. They're all life. They're all the things that happen in life. Whether or not you want them to, they all represent your life, okay? They represent time in your life, items, things that consume your schedule. And you take and you fill up, you pour all of these things that represent your hours into this aquarium. Now, this aquarium represents your year. The volume of this tank is your 2026, okay? Follow me on this. The whole interior space, were you to fill it up, that is 365 days, 24 hours of each day, okay? You pour all these pebbles in there. You pour all this gravel in there. All these baby rock. All this stuff. And it fills it up 90% of the way. Pretty darned full. Right? Okay. The visual that Covey used back in the 80s was this. He then got this gal up there. Okay. Who ran a multinational firm, something or rather, high-powered gal with a high-powered career, okay? Shoulder pads and all. He gets her up there and says, so you've got a busy life, yeah? You got roles and responsibilities, yep, tons of things and lots of going on. Okay, cool. Takes all these pebbles, pours it into this space, this vessel, and it fills it up. And he goes, all right, great. Now, how would you like your life to go? You want to have healthy relationships? You want to have good relationship with your spouse? Do you have kids? She says, no, I don't have kids yet, but I'd like to have kids. He goes, okay, like to have kids, like to have a family. Very cool. That's a big time commitment right there. Ongoing relationships with other important people in your life. Yeah, yep. Health, exercise, sleep. Sleep's a good one. How about like proper diet? All of the big, weighty, important things that you can see as kind of repeating throughout the course of the year, right? Big chunks of stuff. And he says, awesome. Here's these big rocks. Okay, for our purposes, you've got your big fish tank, you got your big aquarium thing, right? And it's filled up with the gravel, all the way up to 90%. And then you hand these big rocks, and on them each is written something. Family, or okay, spouse, healthy marriage. Another one you write, healthy parenting. Effective, proper parenting. You could just write parenting on this rock, okay? Health. Just ongoing health. Maintenance, exercise, diet, whatever else. All these things. Now, fit them in the tank. If you want them, fit them. So he puts to her, all right, you want to be a good wife? Here you go, fit it in there. It's got the rock, it's his wife on it, like spouse. And she tries to cram it in there, and he's like, it can't go above. You've only got this many hours in a year, right? That's it. So she's cramming them in there. And he's like, and what's about this one? Okay, you want to have kids. That's an awfully big rock. Okay, here's your big rock. And she crams them in there. And everybody kind of laughs as she does this demonstration because she's cramming. And he says, healthy social life? Do you want to have a healthy social life? People with whom you regularly interact outside of work and so forth. Here's another rock. Go ahead and fit that in there. And then he says, ooh, what's this? What's this? Ooh, it's an urgent thing that's come up with your work. Your biggest client had this crisis of something or other. And unless you can give them your dedicated time and attention to really assuage their fears and fix this relationship, you will lose your biggest client and a chunk of your work and all. And she's just like sweating. He's like, go ahead, fit it in. And she's like looking at this thing. Future of the company could depend on this, right? Like certainly the present well-being of the company depends on this rock. And she's looking at the rest like, do I take out having kids or do I take out my marriage? What about your health? Take out your health instead? Got to fit them all in there. How are you going to do it? That is the state that everyone here, I bet 99+% of us find ourselves in. Giant emergency comes your way. Something's got to give, right? This was certainly true of me. The end of 2025. Hot Bride's medical crisis. We spent 2 freaking months on this. 2 months out of nowhere. That's a big rock. What took the hit? What took the hit of this life, of my 2025 tank? What had to give? My time with you all. Stream? No streams. Vanished. Edits? No edits. Vanished. CNRs? Regular get-togethers with the people in my life who matter and that I really consider important relationships? Vanished. Sleep? What's that? Lost that. Exercise? General health? What's that? Diet? Oh, hospital food, baby. It was grab what was easy, what was convenient, and what was non-perishable. Not like we had a fridge in there. So no, it was a lot of things had to go. A lot of things had to give when that happened. Any business planning that I was doing here, some of you got to see this. Some of you I met with. The bonus talks that happened during that time, I tried to sneak them in and meet with you guys, and I was basically just exhausted. Half asleep here on camera in the Discord, talking to the capos and above about this. And it's like, how am I supposed to talk about the future right now? How am I supposed to cast vision? How am I supposed to... And I'm like running on no sleep, terrible food decisions, no exercise. Pff, forget about it. Like barely enough time for proper hygiene, let alone like squeezing in an exercise that requires a shower every day and all the rest. What are you gonna do? Push-ups on the hospital floor? Turns out they don't let you do that. They don't want you to be on hospital floors because they're not sanitary. But they send in cleaners. You can't be on hospital floors. A lot had to give. I want you to think about your 2025. I'll give you a second here. Think about your 2025. For some of you, your 2026. Some of you have had a hell of a week just this week. How many big rocks, surprise out of nowhere? Hey, you have to deal with this right now. What did you have to sacrifice? I know the answer for some of you is sleep. That's a big one. Sleep is an easy go-to, and a lot of people go to it. All of you who have an entrepreneurial bent, or you are motivated in some form or fashion in a business world, or you're a go-getter, you've got a really strong work ethic, and you've got plans and ambitions, you understand this. For a burst, for a sprint, for a season, for a short time, short bursts, you can sacrifice sleep. You can do that. But it's not sustainable. So all of a sudden we come back from the hospital and I'm working 90 hours a week, not 80. Where's that coming from? Sleep. I can do it for a day. I can do it for a week. Can't do it forever. Something's got to give. What's going to give? There's a better way. You've got your big tank, right? Let's empty it. This is what he demonstrated using physical props that I don't have. Apologies. Picture your big tank. Empty it out again, okay? Now, place the big rocks first. Fill that tank with the big rocks. Healthy marriage. Proper parenting. Professional development. Meaningful relationships from chosen family or whatever it is. Obligations to this and that. Overall health. Diet, exercise, all those things. Put all those big rocks in first. And then pour in the same amount of gravel. And what you will probably have guessed at this point is that the gravel goes around the big rocks and fills in all the interstitial spaces. And the aquarium is not even yet full. That tank is not yet full. All those big rocks that couldn't fit in there before Now they're in there, and all the smaller stuff fills in around them. It doesn't take the place of the big rocks, obviously, physics. But you can still fit them all in. The order is what matters. Don't miss this, okay? This is where we're going, and I've got a lot more to go ahead through here. The order is what matters. Now, several people since have taken this idea and run with it in the decades between then and now, and they've said, you can fit still more things in there. Sand. You've got all this gravel in there, yes, but sand. What if you do the big rocks first, then you do the gravel, then you do sand, and that fills in even more of the interstitial space, because you could see that as lost time, wasted space, whatever. If you're really trying to min-max, if you're really trying to squeeze every ounce of utility out of a day or out of a week or some such, great. Throw sand in there too. Awesome. That's great. Do that. Others take this a step further. Yes, further than that. They do the big rocks, your big chunky boys. Then you've got gravel in there. Then you've got sand in there. And then you've got water. Then you add water in there. And that goes everywhere else. And you would be amazed at the volume that can fit in a year. A perfect year is the one where you don't have to sacrifice any of those big rocks. You don't have to say no to all of those things. In fact, as I'm going to demonstrate as we go into this, you'll have room for surprise big rocks, like medical emergencies, or business disrupting things like this woman had with, oh, here's your biggest client and their worries and woes, and okay. But you can only do it in a perfect year. We're calling it a perfect year here, and you'll see why, okay? I want you guys to think about what this looks like in your life, and I want you, as I'm doing here, to plan out your year starting with big rocks. We're going to talk much more about those. I'm going to give examples. I'm going to go through it all. But I want you guys to put down on paper, okay, get out a calendar and start putting in the big rock items. One that's kind of important that you could just start with right out of the gate, don't even got to think about it, is proper sleep. This one's pretty straightforward, okay? Yeah, Tyr can be attacked by the word sleep all he wants. Also, hi, Sam. It's very good to see you. I'm missing chat, you guys. Sleep. We sleep for a third of our lives. That's how humans work, okay? There's no such thing as I need less sleep than everybody else. That's not a thing. That is absolutely, demonstrably, scientifically not a thing. And all of you out there who are furiously wanting to type at the keyboard, I can, you are absolutely, demonstrably, objectively wrong. You are incorrect. Physiologically, medically, there is no form or fashion in which you are correct about this. There are people who are getting the right amount of sleep, read the healthy amount of sleep, and there are people who are dying faster than they otherwise would and suffering medically for a whole host of things, okay? I'm not prepared to give a very dry talk on sleep and sleep science right now, but go read a book called Why We Sleep. I can't remember the guy's name. What is it? Why We Sleep. Matthew something. Matthew Walker. Dr. Matthew Walker. The Science of Sleep. Okay? You need sleep. Get a bigger aquarium. That's right. Time travel that's what that is. Time travel is a bigger aquarium. So, okay. Your perfect year. A big, immovable, inescapable rock. 7.5 hours of sleep per night. Finish on a REM cycle. 7.5 hours of sleep per night. You can just take the whole aquarium and immediately, that's a big rock that takes up a third of the space. It's a perfect, bespoke sized rock. It goes in your tank, okay, and it fills up a third of it right out of the gate. I'll talk more about big rocks. But it in part some of it has to do with this will allow you to continue. And if you don't have the proper amount of sleep, yes, you can get away with it for a burst or a season or a week or two. maybe a month, maybe a little bit. You can get away with it, but it's not best practices, and it will bite you in the ass. You will get your comeuppance. It will be reflected in your inability to productively, for your unwillingness to take seriously the big rocks. Okay? All right. Now we're off to the races. You guys ready? I'm freaking ready. Let's talk more about big rocks. Talk about big rocks, medium rocks, small rocks, okay? Little rocks. Big rocks. These are high importance, low urgency items, typically. Okay, typically these are low urgency items. There's no like, it's an emergency that this thing take place. They're sort of slow moving, slow going things that add up. Again, you can miss a night of sleep or a couple hours and it's not gonna, but it builds up over time. Okay, low urgency items. That's why we don't treat them as emergencies very often. It's, well, I'll do it next week. I'll get them next time. I'll get the next one that does, okay, but they're high importance, low urgency items that contribute, importantly here, to long-term fulfillment, values, and goals. The stuff you want to do, okay? These are foundational. Incidentally, here's how I've decided to articulate this, okay? These are foundational to who you are. And are each of these big rocks that you could consider being in your life, these are each a component of what you'd say your life, if you were asked, what you'd say your life is for. What you'd describe as your life being about. I know that's sort of an existential question for a lot of people. Yeah, we tackle that sort of thing around here. We're not afraid of big, scary, existential spiral questions in the Mafia. It's part of hard mode. Is facing such things. Okay? This is no exception. What is your life for? I can reverse engineer this a little bit. Karma, it's good to see you. Thank you for the alert, my friend. I appreciate you very much. Karma. Call it karma when we see them. I have a head start. I got to cheat. Appreciate you, my friend. I can reverse engineer this by asking a question that I often have around here in the Mafia. During several other talks, I've asked this. Different series, I've asked this. Right now I'm saying, consider what is important in your life, consider these things, and then let's look at your calendar. But often this is done in the reverse, which is, if you right now were to show me your calendar, many of you don't have one, I'd have to observe your life, right? You couldn't say, yes, I did a time audit and here's what my week looked like. Most of us have never done that, okay? Most people have never done a time audit, serious, like a strict one or a loose one. Nobody's done it. It's very rare for someone to do a time audit of their life, okay? But if I were to observe your life for a week, or if I had some sort of like position where I just got to audit you, I walked around with a clipboard and I just watched you do your life, okay? I got to just sit around as an objective outside observer and watch you. Okay, you woke up at this time, did nothing for an hour, hemmed and hawed about whether or not today is a shower day, hemmed and hawed about what's for cereal, what's for breakfast, what are we doing? Are we doing cereal? Are we making something else? Do we work out? No, we don't work out. We gonna do this? Are we gonna answer this phone call? No, we're not gonna answer this phone call. Doom scroll a little bit. Doom scroll a little bit. Doom scroll a lot of bit. Oh, a nap. Interesting. Okay, a nap. Get a little bit of work done. Oh, okay. Oh, time for a break from work. Okay. And more food. And more doom scroll. And more doom scroll. Oh, and we're calling it a day. Fascinating. What are we doing now? Evening's over? Our work is over. Now we're into our evening. Oh, and Netflix. Cool. What are we watching? The Office. For the 9th time. It's my comfort show. I watch it to unwind. It's background noise because I don't really need to think about it and I just like to shut off my brain sometimes. And some games and doom scroll in bed and sleep. I have said before that if I were in this position to observe your life and audit your schedule, audit your day, audit your week, audit your month. If you showed me a time audit for your month, I will tell you what you worship. I will tell you what your life is about. I will tell you what you treat your life as for. What you say, what you act, might not be exactly what you say, but it is how you act out what you believe your life is about. And if someone were to say, what does that person do? Well, here's their time audit. It tells the tale. This ledger tells the story about what your life is for. Now, if your tank here is just filled with all these little itty bitty little things, all this, and you've got no room for big rocks in there, big important relationships going by the wayside, parenting stuff going by the wayside, health going by the wayside, aspirations, goals, vacation, travel, learning new skills, going back to school, a reinvention of yourself. Oh, nope, permanently shelved. What's your life about? Maintaining. What's your life for? Nothing. What's your life about? Survival. What do you do? Wake up, work, pay bills, doom scroll, sleep, rinse and repeat. Awesome. No wonder everybody is so freaking miserable. Big rocks. Long-term fulfillment. Values. Goals. That's what they reflect. Okay? If neglected, important here, if the big rocks are neglected, if you don't put them, if you don't make room for them in the tank, or if you don't start, as we're doing now, with them in the tank, if they don't make their way into your year, they will kill your spirit. They'll lead to a failure to thrive, and consequently will lead to a physical killing of your body. I've talked to a bunch of you about this in the past couple months, incidentally. I believe that we need these big rocks, big things to work toward, to aspire toward, and then to work to bring about. Yes, work is good. Because if you don't have these things, you just shrivel up and die. And so as the world goes away from big aspirational things and let's just everybody coast, I think there will be a massive dying off as a consequence. I think we need this. And I think you know that we need this. And all of you out there who've tried to just do nothing, you're like, I'm just going to do nothing now. I want to go on vacation. I want to do nothing. You know that that's not sustainable either. Now, some of you work very high-powered, high-stress jobs. And you're like, no, I needed the 2 weeks to unplug. And that's great. Okay, great. You can't do that for 2 years. Can't hardly do it for 2 months. This is evidenced, by the way, not by my own anecdotal experience. This is evidenced by actuarial tables. That's right. All the stuff that the insurance companies track because it's their livelihood that depends on their accuracy. Actuarial tables for how and when people die. Okay? When you retire, all the people out there who are like, I can't wait till 65, till 68, till 70, till whatever year I've got all my ducks in a row, I'm vested in my company or firm or whatever it is, I get my pension, I get my whatever it is kicks in, and I get to retire. The classic, this isn't true of all of you, some of you know better. Some of you are wiser here. Some of you have learned this lesson from some other source. But the classic idea of I'm going to retire and now do nothing. I've spent my entire life doing, and it's been exhausting, and I've been run ragged, And now I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to watch the TV shows that I want. I'm going to play the games that I want. I'm going to travel to where I want. I'm going to go sightseeing. I'm going to go for walks. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to read all the books that I want to. I'm going to, whatever. I'm just going to watch TV. Those people die. At a far higher rate. Far and away higher rate than the people who keep working. Everybody out there who goes, I'm just gonna chill now, they die of it. We need the big rocks. Your life needs a purpose. Your purpose can't be to veg. Your purpose cannot be to do nothing. So back to the anecdotal here, know lots of old people. As I've said before, I believe it's very important to have people up and down the age range from you. You ought to know people older than you, and you ought to know people younger than you. You learn from the one, you teach the other, right, your entire life. I know lots and lots of old people, and I know plenty of them who have tried to retire and failed at retirement and have said and warned me personally, Gus, don't ever, dear God, don't be me. That was such a mistake. I sold my company. I did this. I handed it off. I was miserable the whole time. And now I'm so bored. I'm useless to everyone and everything. There's nothing to get me out of bed in the morning. There's nothing to animate me, to move me, motivate me to go somewhere because there's nothing compelling me to. I don't need to. I've got my check coming in from Social Security or whatever it is. I get my retirement money, my pension money. I get whatever, and then I'm useless. One gentleman in particular comes to mind. He tried this, and he vanished off the face of the earth. And we're like, dude, what happened to him? People tried to get in touch with him. Busy guy all the time. Was always doing something. We didn't see him for years. Like a year and a half. Hadn't heard from him. And one day he just showed up, and we're like, dude! And he looked terrible. Terrible. We were like, my guy, what happened to you? And he's like, I slept more and more. I had a very hard time getting out of bed. Why? I took walks in the beginning. I used to walk, and then I thought, why? I went on trips in the beginning, and I thought, why? I stopped doing this. I stopped doing that. Less of this, and I slunk down into depression. And everything felt useless, and I wasn't needed, I wasn't wanted, I wasn't interested in anymore. I lost my jus de vie. That's the fate of people who lose their big rocks. Failure to thrive. And that's true at any age. True at any age, okay? Lady B, it's very good to see you. I hope that you're well. Welcome on in. Welcome to the talks. So, that's big rocks. Medium rocks, or gravel in this case, okay? These are important, but secondary. They enable big rocks, okay? Or they address semi-urgent needs, emergent sort of things, okay? They fill in gaps in there, but they are not the priority to fill the tank with, all right? After that is like small rocks, or sand in this case. Again, some people take like sand and then water. Let's say sand, okay? This is low importance, but often urgent or spontaneous things that are just emergent. They just come up all the time. Little things here and there, okay? And despite their ubiquitous demand upon your time, these are often trivial activities that can consume your day, week, year if they are not proactively managed. Okay, busy work, distractions, going over on some doom scroll, down the spiral we go, and where did the hours go, right? Or gaming, all that. Okay, there's lots of ways that if this is not proactively managed, it will just consume all of your time. Okay, that's what the small rocks are. So, okay, big rocks. I'll talk about big rocks some more. Again, these are foundational to who you are. High importance, low urgency, very often. They're not demanding your attention. But over time, they will degrade your quality of life significantly if they are ignored. All right? Okay. Big rocks. Here's some examples. I've already listed a bunch, but we're going to go into some detail here, okay? In case you're having a hard time visualizing what this might be in your life, let me help you with some of these. These are some of the ones I've come up with. There are many others, okay? I'm sure that there are others, but we're going with broad categorization and some examples, all right? First, practices or habits central to one's faith, okay? This could be prayer, meditation, or intentional reflection, study of or about one's worldview, whatever faith system you belong to, or a direct involvement in one's community of faith, volunteering your time or gathering with others, whatever. Okay, and again, like that's like a worldview sort of thing. Big rock, and if you don't have like a worldview sort of thing figured out in your life, get into community so that you can like figure that out with people. Okay, big thing, not to be neglected for forever. Next, and a pretty obvious one here, relationships. Relationships. Obviously, that is what I harp about. This is sort of my cause du jour. This is my hill that I fight upon, that I'll die upon. This is my hill here in the Mafia, okay? I'm always harping about community. You guys are sick of hearing me say it. I know. Community. Now, this can be... this is relationships. This can be nuclear family or chosen family. Very important, okay? This is under the umbrella. If you had a rock called relationships, you could say important relationships, okay? A big rock, relationships, scrawled across it, all right? This needs to go into the tank. This is a huge amount of your time. Now, it's not all done in one chunk, okay? It's not this month was non-stop relationshiping, right? This is spread loaded over the entire year, the sum of which is this big rock, okay? This is spending quality time with your spouse, quality time with your children, maybe quality time with aging parents, okay, whatever. Date nights, family vacations, meaningful conversations with your best friend, like I get to do with Hot Bride, okay? About meaningful subjects. Actually get to flesh out ideas with the person that I trust the most. You know, stuff like that. That's this. It's part of this relationship big rock, okay? This also includes quality time with chosen family, so-called. We've talked about that quite a lot here in this community. A lot of folks on the internet know this one, okay? Chosen family. What this rock represents is healthy relationships with those people. I say chosen family, not random acquaintances. We'll get to that, okay? Not people that you kind of know from that one person at work. No, chosen family that you would call this. They might not be blood, but they're family. How? How are they family? What does it mean? What does it look like to have a healthy relationship with these people? How about dedicated, scheduled get-togethers or catch-up calls? Some occasion that you have dedicated, some time that you have set aside to do this with these people because you have decided that it is worthwhile. Not, oh, we should really get together. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in 8 months. Wow, we really got to catch coffee sometime. I don't know. Next week doesn't look good for me, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's been too long. Not that. That is not what it looks like to do this big rock well. That's not what it looks like to get this big rock in there, okay? Healthy relationships with people that you would consider family. Healthy relationships. Healthy. This would be also where I'd say developing depth. Developing and maintaining depth in these relationships. That's part of this big rock, okay? Yeah, it's relationships. Next, your health, as I already mentioned. Or stewardship over the meat suit, as I like to call it. This is exercise, nutrition, proper sleep, etc., okay? All those things. But it also includes mental health habits. Processing life, I call it. Now, if you're an extrovert like me, sometimes that's processing out loud, or all of the time if you're me. Processing out loud. For you introverts, that's maybe you're dragged into a community that pulls it out of you like pulling teeth, but more often what I'm given to understand and what I hear quite frequently from our numbers, from our introverts here in the Mafia, is this is journaling. I know a bunch of extroverts in my life who have tried to journal to various varying degrees of success. I have never journaled. It makes me crazy. I can't do it. I can't journal. I process out loud. If I'm putting pen to paper, now it becomes work, and I need to find the right word for the right thing, and this doesn't work, and I rewrite this, and I never actually achieve the purpose of processing my thoughts. It's a constant perfectionism that destroys any hope I have of getting pen to paper, putting my thoughts into words on paper. I can't do it. Instead, it's this, where I'll search for the right words, but I'll live with the ones that are less than ideal. I'll just keep going, baby. Okay, that's what I do. I process out loud, and I know a bunch of you extroverts, even some introverts, do this too, okay? So this would be processing life. Do you have someone to do this with, or do you have a habit that enables you to do this regularly, whether it's journaling or whatever else? This is part of your health, okay? This would be mental health type stuff here. Yeah, I definitely don't do the journaling, but that's all under the big rock of health, good health, okay? Next would be career. Professional development, okay? This is your job, but not just your job. This is like your professional trajectory in life, okay? This is what you want to accomplish professionally, or what it is you want to dig your hands into and do well. Okay, this can be, yes, you studied law, you're a lawyer, or whatever it is, and your field is law, right? It could be something as straightforward as that. You want to be a vet, like a veterinary science, you work with animals and stuff like that. Okay, cool. You want to be a nurse, like Hop Bride, you dig in and you do that. That's your professional development. Hooray, okay. It could be something much more vague and strange and ambiguous, like being a content creator, with 50 bajillion different implications for what that title means. This way, that way, monetization, revenue stream, that your career, okay, or your professional development. This will include, in a traditional sort of work, corporate sort of environment, key work projects, okay, big projects that are happening around, Q1 goals to hit. If it's in the military, this might be a big mission set that you guys are all working on and working toward mission accomplishment for. This also includes skill building, okay? If you are doing an actual professional development course or something where you're going to a trade school or you're going to a technical school, you're getting a certification, you're being trained in some sort of skill that you're going to bring to bear under this professional big rock, okay? This is your work. This is your career big rock, okay? It could be long-term career planning. A big healthy part of this big rock doing this well is long-term career planning and the implementation of it. What moves do you want to make? Yes, you wanted to join the military. I said I wanted to join the military, but why? What was I hoping to achieve? Well, so that I can do this, and then I can eventually move to this, and I can upgrade to this, and work on this mission set. For some of you, that's I want to work in this company in this role so that I can promote to this position, and then one day I will have the experience to franchise on my own over here, and then I want to be a franchisee. Something like that, okay? Yeah. Ace, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Appreciate you popping in for the lecture here. Welcome, welcome. And Happy New Year. This is also, under the career big rock here, this is also building out proof of concepts. Maybe for your own business, if you are an entrepreneurial sort, or if you've got an idea for a side hustle that you're like, maybe this could turn into something. Maybe this isn't a thing today, but I'd like it to become a thing. It's not a for sure thing, but let's build out a proof of concept. Let's try that. Illist, it's very good to have you, my friend. Happy New Year to you, and welcome on into the talks. Pleasure indeed. I'll be holding forth for a bit and missing a lot of chat, you guys, but good to have you in for the lecture. Planning out your perfect year, you guys. Big rocks to put in the tank first. This also includes, for this career rock here, any kind of legacy work. Okay, several authors who speak about this talk about legacy. Your mind will fill in the blanks for a lot of what legacy can mean, but it can be like maybe you're building out a trust for your kids. Your goal is, I want my kids to have a better shot at life than I did, right? You're building up a big nest egg to leave to your children. You really hard work and you're squirreling all that money away, etc. Okay. Maybe it's you're building out a family business that you hope to leave to them, again, to give them a better life than you had. Anything that you intend to last. In the context of the Mafia here, of course I talk about legacy because I've said for forever, this project is not about me. It's never been about me. I'm not some central tenet of this thing. The ideas are not mine. They're not new. I'm not peddling ideas that have ne'er been that ne'er before has there been a purveyor of. I am merely a town crier. That's what I'm doing, okay? I'm just shouting from the rooftops the importance of this thing. I'm the guy up in the watchtower selling iceberg ahead and we need to divert and like we're all in trouble. Talking about the importance of humaning and all the stuff that we do here in the Mafia with this hard mode notion. Obviously. That's what I get up to. Well, I want it to outlive me. I've told you guys before, I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed next week. I'm certainly not guaranteed next year. Yeah, the actuarial tables say I will probably have it tomorrow, but that's not something I take for granted at all. This is obviously brought into really sharp relief on the heels of what happened with Hop Riot, right? With her nearly dying and all of that just a couple months ago. Out of nowhere, seemingly. Turns out the tumor was growing for a long time. Years. But that hit like a bus. All of a sudden it was, no, life stops. And she might die. Like, that fast. The same is true of all of us, and the same is certainly true of me. The buses are hunting me even now. They know where I am. I'm given to understand. I have to move my location periodically, okay? The buses, they're looking for me. I want this idea to outlive me, which is why I was so grateful to you guys, incidentally, while we were in the hospital, that you guys, as I said, kept the lights on. You kept the lights on for this project. You continued to meet. You continued to encourage one another. You continued to challenge one another, to sharpen one another, even in my absence. It is my hope that all of this will be taken seriously enough to do absolutely in my absence. Because someday, don't know when that is, hopefully it's not soon, it will be in my absence. And if, as I stated at the outset, I'm right, and this is indeed important, then it does need to outlive me. It must. In order for it to be any sort of effective. I don't want it to be just of benefit to me or just to us. Not just to me, not just to we, but to those who will come after us. And that will only happen if you guys keep the lights on. If you guys pass this thing on. If there's legacy. So, okay, career. Big. Personal development is next. Personal development. And that can include, that was professional development, the career type stuff, personal development. This is continuing education. This is like ongoing sort of keeping informed, knowing what's happening in the world, being generally aware of like what's happening in life. You know, you don't need to be like a international affairs expert, geopolitical pundit, this, that, and up, down. You don't need to. This is just a general awareness of things, okay? This big rock, if done well, personal development. Again, you guys could probably think of more examples of what falls into this, of course. But say, first one that came to mind for me is reading. Reading of all kinds. We joked last week that literacy is on the fall. Like, people don't read anymore. People don't know words. Their vocabulary is rather impoverished. And, like, therefore, their ability to communicate nuance is impoverished. It's hurt by this. It's hampered by this. Okay, that further degrades the thing that I'm speaking against, that I constantly rail against, the degradation of human ability to communicate, our humaning. So reading of all kinds. Pleasure reading, including ye oldie type stuff. Read the Lord of the Rings books. That'll improve your vocabulary. It'll hurt your brain a little bit, some of the ye oldie, but like, it's good. It's good for you. It's good for your development as a human being, okay? So read some fiction. Read nonfiction. Read all kinds of stuff that helps you learn or study things, okay? New languages, perhaps. History, study history, read history. All this shelf over here is history. Science. I've got so many bookshelves of different kinds of science, different disciplines, okay? Astrophysics, biology, archaeology, sociology, psychology, general medical types. There's so many fields, disciplines that I've read about and that I want to read more about. Okay, whatever. Reading, all kinds. Hobbies. This can be hobbies, okay? This is your personal development. Hobbies, in particular, hobbies that foster some sort of development. Okay, not just a throwaway hobby that's totally useless, or hobbies that we lie to ourselves and say will be useless, like when people were playing Wii Sports and they're like, yeah, this will translate to me being a professional tennis player. Are you training to play actual tennis? No. All the stuff about like video games, they give you better hand-eye coordination. Cool. No, there's actual studies, Gus. Look, you can read them. They improve better hand-eye coordinator. Okay, cool. What does that translate to? I see the science that says you've got it. I see the science that says yours is better. Yours is slightly better than the people around you. Neat. That's great. What does it translate to? Where are you taking these new hand-eye coordination skills of yours? Where are you taking your new skill set and applying this new, special set of skills? Whence are you bringing them to bear? So, hobbies that lead to an actual kind of development. One that is useful. Useful for what? What you think your life is for. What you think your life is about. Remember, that's what these big rocks are. These big rocks are the things that define you. These big rocks are the answer to who am I? What am I about? What do I do? What is my life for? So, hobbies that play into that. They can be silly. They don't need to all be super serious all the time, but they do need to contribute to who you are. Paul, it's good to see you. Welcome in, my friend. So, these are activities. I would say this, okay, for this personal development thing, all right? I have an asterisk here. A big asterisk here. I'm going to at some of you. These are the activities under this personal development, continuing education, ongoing personal development, all that, okay? These are the activities that you would undertake if you actually liked yourself. But many of you relegate these to the rainy day pile because you don't like yourself. What form that takes on is you very often don't think that you deserve these things. You don't deserve to sit down and read. You don't, maybe the priorities of others. Maybe you're a yes man and you say yes to others and you deprioritize yourself forever. Not just one off here or there, not just a time or two, but always. And your personal development is always on the rainy day pile. Learn a new language. Read books for fun and for learning. Continuing education for no other reason than to stretch your brain. Get good at something. Learn a trade. Learn a skill. And you don't like yourself enough to prioritize these. Hence, this big rock is very often ignored. Now also, mind you, this rock is not treat yourself. This rock is not today's modern version of self-care. Because people put all sorts of unbelievably selfish and egregious things under the title of self-care. Nah, you lounging around and doing absolutely nothing with your day, week, life is not self-care. It's you haven't contributed anything to anyone. So in asking the question, what is your life for? What is your life about? That wouldn't answer it. I might call this category of things your own gas mask activities. Remember, you're no good to anyone else if you block out or if you black out and die from lack of oxygen. So, these are the things that you need in order to exist healthily, to grow, to be a thinking, functioning, contributing member of whatever community that you belong to. Your own gas mask. Now, I say personal development in the service of something else. For me personally, that's where my mind goes for this. Personal development, not for my sake, but for everybody else's. I want to be a value add proposition to your life. You guys have each heard me say this innumerable times. A value add proposition. I don't want to be a net negative in your life. I don't want to detract from your overall well-being, from your purpose, from what it is that you aim to achieve. I don't hope to hamper you. I hope to help. I hope to hone, to sharpen, in order that you might be more effective. I see that as my purpose, to serve and to love you. Okay. I can't do that if I'm not okay. That is a season thing. That is a balance thing. That is I need to get my own schedule and my own big rocks in order to be any good for you. Do you see it? I need my own relationships to be healthy. That is, I've prioritized them, I've taken care of them, give them the time and the nurturing that they need, such that I can serve you guys. Can't be an afterthought. And me still be helpful to you. Can't do it. Same goes for each of us, okay? Personal development, your own gas mask, your own oxygen mask first, okay? Next, finances. Similar vein here. If I don't have this figured out, I'm no good to anyone or anything. This one's a bit drier, but a little more clear cut here, a little less emotional. This is financial planning, budgeting, long-term thinking for these sorts of things. Okay, this is your portfolio management if you've got a portfolio. A bunch of you just scoffed and said, ha, Gus thinks I have a portfolio. Why don't you have a portfolio? It doesn't gotta be like you're a day trader or something. Why haven't you spread loaded your investments and your wealth? Why haven't you secured your financial future, at least on paper? Why don't you have a plan for what your money will do for you? It's a big heckin' rock. And the answer to my own question of why you guys don't have that is because that's a rock that very often just gets left out. You're like, yeah, I'll start financial planning next year. I'll start investing next year. I'll look at my 401k and get that thing moved over that I was supposed to do because I got that letter from the company. I'll do that next year. Okay, big rock, neglected. All right. This can be taxes, bookkeeping, for your business. Why is there a plane just like buzzing right over our roof? Hello, police. If you're running your own business like me, you got to do your own bookkeeping. Keep all your receipts, end of year stuff, button up all the numbers. Tax season is now upon us. Get your W-2s, issue them, issue your stuff to 1099s, all the paperwork that you got to get done for all the taxes, all of the compliance stuff. This is a big heckin' rock. And a lot of people, a lot of you creators go, I'm not a big enough fish. I don't think the IRS is going to come after me if you're in the States. All of the rest of you out there in different countries have different tax compliance organizations out there. Taxman, okay? And you're like, yeah, I'll figure out write-offs next year. I'll get my paperwork in order next year. I'll figure out what depreciation means next year. I'll file my taxes once I can't extend anymore. Finances. And this can include investing as well. Okay, if you've got a retirement fund, Roth IRAs, you guys, compound interest. Get on that Roth. Get on that compound interest life. Ready, set, go. Pay the taxes now. Tax free later. Go, baby, go. Next, big rock, community service, or some other civic involvement. Contribution to your fellow man. Now this one, this pops up in the book. This pops up in several books from business folks, people, thought leaders who've who've added to this idea of the big rocks fitting in and so forth. This one comes up, okay? This community service, civic involvement sort of thing. This is volunteering and helping others in some meaningful way. Personally, I find this category suggestion to be somewhat funny because it's either oxymoronic for certain worldviews or it's redundant. Okay, certain worldviews is why would you help anybody else? Why would you do any of this? Why would you pour this time into it? That's not what your life is about. You've decided. Or it's redundant because your worldview says help other people, serve other people. And maybe that's your own involvement in your own system of faith or community of faith or whatever it is. That's covered by serving your fellow man, whatever. It was like the first thing we talked about, okay? So community civic involvement of some kind. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you're not going to help in this category. You're not going to help people unless that is a feeling that is motivated by something deeper in any case. So again, kind of silly, oxymoronic or redundant. All right, that's big rocks, okay? Again, your big rocks broadly here. And again, you guys certainly think of more. Let me know, by the way, if you think of any, I'd love to in the discussion that we have at the end. I would love to hear if you guys have some suggestions for big rock categories. We can refine ideas, whatever that is, play off of them. Write them down, jot it down, type it out really fast. Pull up a notepad, jot out big rock ideas, okay? So we've got practices or habits that are central to one's faith or worldview, okay? Relationships, these are the big serious relationships, nuclear family or chosen family. Your health, stewardship over the meat suit, okay? Sleep, working out, diet, all that, okay? Career, professional development, all that stuff. Personal development, your continuing education. This is your own oxygen mask first items. Finances, a big one. And then if you like it, your community or civic involvement of some kind, okay? Those are the big rocks. When you're looking at this tank for the year, these are the things that ought to go in first. Otherwise, they will not fit later. Don't miss it. They will not fit after the fact. Part of scheduling your perfect year is, where do these go? Before I move on to medium-sized rocks, I want you guys to really zone in, lock in on this, okay? Hang on. If you are looking at your calendar, this is sleep goes in first. Schedule it. Someone says, hey, can you do this thing at this time? Could you do this thing at this time every single day for the rest of the year? Nope, that's part of my sleeping thing, and it would take away, and I can't move that sleep around very much. No, you have to say no to it. Sleep's already in that spot. Okay, you could do it once or twice, and I'll get to that. I'll get to exceptions. We'll get to asterisks at the end, all right? But then it's community involvement, big relationships, chosen family, all that jazz. Schedule them. Schedule them now. I've got more examples of this that I look at in my life, but if I look at my calendar right now, and I have, because I'm planning out my perfect year right now, as my perfect year, my Tuesdays, for instance, my business leaders, mentors meeting, that happens every Tuesday in it. It's fixed. It's on my calendar. If anyone says, hey, can you do this thing on Tuesdays at noon? Nope. Maybe once, but nope. Not on a continuing, ongoing basis. Hey, can you work these days? There's time. Nope. Hey, you have a class you're signed up for. When does it take place? It's Thursdays at 4 p.m. Okay, great. Hey, can you do this thing Thursday 4:30? Nope, I'm in class. Don't fill up your schedule and go, how could I possibly add school to this? Do it now. Do all these big rock things now. This is the bones of your schedule, okay? If you're looking at your perfect year and you followed my suggestion at the beginning of this, that you pull up a digital calendar or physical calendar, however you want to do this, fill in right now the big rocks for the whole year. So someone says, hey, can you pick up the Wednesdays with this work project, this additional assignment? Can you do it? Nope. Why not? Because that's the day I spend quality time with my son. Can the work project thing be moved? Can it be done at a different time? Can I move it to here? Can I do it to there? If your schedule has enough flexibility, maybe you can move the thing with your son. But that's an awfully big rock. It's going to disrupt an awful lot about the rest of this, isn't it? And is this ask from your boss, your supervisor, for you to take on this extra role responsibility, is it as big a rock as quality time, dedicated quality time with your son, with whom you only have a few precious years? How many movies have been made about this? How many of you have seen Hook? Beginning of Hook. Robin Williams' character running corporate this, that, running all over the place, jet setting from here to here. And he gets on a plane to get there to catch his son's baseball game, and the time zone change, and he gets there and the game is over. It's because work was the big rock and quality time with his son was something he tried to jam in at the end. Another big rock that he didn't make room for at the beginning of his perfect year. That's the mistake we are trying to avoid here. Decide today, in this week, decide in the first couple weeks, if you need the whole month. But take this time and seriously consider, what are the things that I want, that I want to be non-negotiables in my life? Right now, I'm included in this, looking back at the past bunch of years, we treat these things as negotiable, don't we? Yeah, it's important, but you've treated them as if they were optional. You've treated serious relationships with a spouse or with kids or whatever. Maybe it is your career, your business that you're trying to get off the ground. Maybe it is your health is a big one for everybody here. And you've neglected it. It's a big rock sitting out there. And you're like, yeah, I try to cram it in, but you've treated it as if it's negotiable. I want you to consider at the beginning of 2026, here with me, alongside me, okay? I'm doing this too. What do I want to be a non-negotiable? In other words, what do I want to be true of me? Here's a great example. I've talked about my buddy Pell here before, okay? Pell is staying with us, incidentally. Pell is absolutely jacked, okay? Dude is yoked. You think that happened on accident? Do you think when he plans his year, do you think he filled it up with everything else and then as an afterthought went, I should really work out. I should really try and figure out like protein. Is that what you need for working out? I think protein for building muscle and recovery and all of the... When can I do that? Let me look at my week and try and fit working out. Let me just fit that in there. Maybe I can do it before I go to... No, because then I would need to... No. You don't get to look like him on accident. That takes intentionality. It takes it being a big rock that you plan around. Okay? Beginning of his year, I promise, because this has been a part of his life. It's not just this year, it's every year. Big ass rock in the empty tank. That's I wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and I train. Here's how I train. I do this for my pre-workout thing. I do this for the workout thing. I do this for my immediate post-workout thing. And then there's a shower afterwards. As part of my day, as part of every day, rest is a part of this. I go to bed at this time so I get the proper amount of sleep so that I can work out the proper way, in the proper with the proper safety, so that I get the actual gains. And I do it all well and I do it right to achieve what I want to. It doesn't happen on an accident. It took intentionality, it takes planning, and it takes sacrifice, and it took getting that thing in there first. So if you were to ask him, hey, you want to do something at 5:30? You want to start going on a fishing thing in the mornings at 6 a.m.? Nope. No can do. Hey, you want to do this thing super late at night and get together? Nope. No can do. Why? I got a big ass rock that takes up that spot. And it's an important one. Okay. So consider what you want to be true of you going forward. Fill your calendar with those things first. Dedicate the time to them, not as an afterthought, but as a premeditated, this is gonna be how my Wednesdays look. We'll come back to that. Okay, now to medium rocks, okay? Big rocks, medium rocks. We're gonna go a little bit faster with this, okay? Medium rocks, these are supporting tasks, okay? You handle these after the big rocks. Okay, you put this into the tank after the big rocks, obviously in our sequential order here, but they also take a back seat in terms of importance, all right? These are routine work tasks. This is meetings or correspondences that are necessary to advance the company or to work toward the end of a particular work job or whatever, okay? Routine sort of work a day stuff. You got to fill out reports for a job. This is filling out reports. You have to prepare tax things for a company or whatever, you fulfill those things. If you've got to do landscaping, whatever, it's doing landscaping jobs and completing tasks. If you're in a construction company, it's fulfilling contracts and doing whatever, okay, whatever's getting done. Okay, that's all your routine work tasks. They aren't vision casting. They aren't plans for expansion and doing this stuff. They're not delegating, handing off hats and scheming for the, like, they're not working on the business. Okay, from a top down, this can be made better here. Maybe if I move this around. It's not working on the business. It's working in the business. Okay, that's how I've always phrased it since I met you guys. I've lamented many a time that when your hours get away from you, as they have here, all of your time is spent working in the business, never on the business. It's, yeah, I really should move into this area. This is many of you with Rumble, by the way. This is many of you content creators out there who are like, yes, I really should multi-stream, especially since it's not against Twitch TOS anymore. I really should not put all of my eggs in one basket. I really should expand into this emerging market. I really should experiment with this or that. I really should try this thing and see what the numbers look like. I really should. But you don't. Because you're too busy with your day-to-day streaming, day-to-day editing, whatever it is. It's the day-to-day stuff. That's the medium rocks, okay? This is the gravel. This is every single hour that you stream is a little gravel, a little rock that goes into that tank. Every single hour is a little one. And if you fill up the tank with all of these things, you stream bajillion hours every day, all day, every day, you will never get to work on the business. And working on the business is a big rock. Having dedicated time that is spoken for, that is for working on the macro stuff, planning and executing for vision, like long-term goals for this project, that's a big rock. The day-to-day, little rocks. Okay? Okay, gravel is little rocks. That's your day-to-day stuff, regardless of whether or not it's a company that you are running or you are helping somebody else run their company. You're an employee of someone else. Okay, those are your gravel. Okay, hours of labor for the company working in the business. Next, household chores with impact. Okay, household chores with impact. I want to make a distinction here. Okay, this is plant chores. Plant chores. You got to maintain all the plants here. We'll come back around to this. I'll go into greater detail. Okay, pet care. Right, you got a dog. You got to keep the dog alive. You got to take the dog for a walk. You can see the time adding up for these things, right? Meal prepping for the week, for the day, for if you've got kids, you're making lunches. If you're just solo maybe, but you're busy, you're doing meal prep for the week and you're freezing this and that. Or maybe you're just making breakfast or all the meal stuff. It's important because you got to eat. And short-term budgeting. This is, all right, here's what's happening with finances this week, and I need to go shopping, and I got to spend this much, and oh, the price of this went up, and I just got this other expense for this other thing. Time that you have to spend sorting out individual paying bills and this and that. Okay, that's household chores that have impact. These are These are not nothing. These are not throwaway. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Next would be social commitments, and not the big rock relationships that we've already covered, but ones that are still important. Okay. So not big rock relationships, but still important relationships. This would be attending birthdays, office or business parties, holiday get-togethers, barbecues, block parties in your neighborhood. Okay, these are, I called these the social contract sort of relationships. These sort of etiquette, polite society kind of get-togethers. These are the ones where you watch The Sandlot and you see the boys running around on 4th of July and you're like, damn, look at that. The whole neighborhood got together and did a block party. And they maybe they all don't know each other super well. Maybe they're not all best friends, but there's sort of a romanticism in that you're like, damn, I wish my neighborhood did that. I wish we got together and did set off little fireworks here and there. I would go hang out at a barbecue. I would contribute. I'd bring some links. I'd do, whatever. These are social commitments that aren't family or chosen family. You see what I'm saying? There's a clear distinction between these two, okay? This obviously takes time, especially if you're going to be a regular attendee of such things, especially if you're going to make such things happen, if you're going to be the mover and shaker, if you're going to be the glue, if you're the one who's going to go to your neighbors and be like, hey, I want to start doing a 4th of July block party. It's coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to set up out in the front in the cul-de-sac or whatever it is, and I'm going to get a grill going. My brother's going to come over with this and that, and I'd love for you guys to come hang out. If you want to bring something, I'm thinking maybe we start a tradition around here. Maybe we get so-and-so over there who makes this great thing. So-and-so makes bread. I don't know. Everybody can kind of bring something. What if we do this? What if we made this a tradition? This is going to take a little bit of time. Now you say, okay, it's a 4th of July barbecue block party. Neat. That's once a year. It's still time. It's still time. Medium rock that's going to take away from some stuff, okay? And this is more like you're the one participating and you want to make sure that this happens. It's a little less be the change you want to see and orchestrate it all. That's more like a big rock item where you're like, I'm going to change the social fabric of the world. The kind of stuff that we're doing here, the kind of stuff that I'm teaching and preaching here is be the one to host the barbecue. A little less that. Okay, more like you attend, you do your part, okay? Next would be short-term learning, okay? This is listening to Gus Talks, finger guns, or other impactful podcasts. Something that's not just throwaway, something that you actually intend to learn something from. Something that you actually go into saying, I could probably benefit from this. There's lots of podcasts out there that are purposed with this. In particular, Huberman comes to mind, talking about sleep. Okay, Dr. Huberman, podcast on sleep, talking to sleep experts, and talk about sort of best practices around sleep. You don't go into that going, oh, this is going to be hilarious, and I'll get to blow off some steam. No, you're going to learn something, okay? Maybe your life isn't going to hinge on this and you're not preparing the podcast, but you are watching this, okay? So short-term learning, listening to Gus Talks, okay? Maybe this is quick reads, shorter books, or reading materials for something. Maintenance learning for things that impact, your bubble, okay? That is, if you've got someone in your community, in your sphere, maybe you learn a little bit about the things that interest them so that you can connect better with them. Maybe this is, you're a parent and you've got a teenage daughter and she has an interest in something and you're like, what the hell even is that? Short-term learning. You don't have to love or adopt everything that she's into or whatever, but maybe you start to familiarize yourself with it. You're like, it's a fad, it'll pass. Yeah, but do you want to understand your kid? Do you want to understand how to reach them during this season? Or do you want to let it get away from you and snowball to the point that you can't even talk to them anymore in just a couple years of you not trying to connect, not trying to understand? Because you, an older person go, it's stupid, it's a fad, it'll pass. It's not stupid to them. Your kid saying, hey, I'm interested in this, and you going, you'll grow out of that. Or do you set aside some time, some gravel that fills up your weeks trying to learn? Maybe you learn a little bit about meme culture so you can understand their jokes, understand what their friends are saying, understand the references. Okay? This sort of time. This isn't necessarily like the huge rock of dedicated time for connecting with them. This is one-off little, I'm going to learn about the people in my bubble. Okay? So short-term learning, whatever that can look like. Lots. Next, maintenance activities. Maintenance activities. This is things you'd likely skip if you could, but they're either supportive of larger rocks, okay, and long-term well-being, your health and so forth, or they're just necessary evils, okay? Some examples are car repairs. It's not part of your like plans for who you are as a person, but you should probably have a safe vehicle that doesn't have bald tires if you want to have a healthy and continuing relationship with your family when you live somewhere with snow. You know what I'm saying? You gotta maintain and get new tires and swap all those out so that you can have the big rocks of continuing to stay alive and not crash in the snow on bald tires, right? Get oil changes, change out the wipers once a season, car maintenance type stuff. Okay, this is, you gotta go get the car registered, you gotta get it smogged depending on where you're staying, you gotta, all that. Okay, this is also doctor's appointments, like your standard doctor's appointment checkup type stuff, maybe dentist appointments, go get cleanings and all that jazz. Again, these things themselves are not like what comprise you. They're not what define you. These aren't chunks of your personality or your character, but they're supportive of other things. Again, you do need to like stay on top of your health. You can't like neglect your teeth for forever, or that will harm big rock items in your life. Okay, you see? So these are things that, yeah, you'd skip if you could, including, Mel, being sick. I would say these are the kind of rocks that get added in whether or not you want them. They're part of it. Being sick is a part of life. It's also part of having a healthy immune system, is every so often your body going through a battle, a purge, a fight. It sharpens, it hones your immune system. Okay, so being sick, you'd skip it if you could. You can't. You need an immune system that knows what it's doing. You're gonna, okay, so some of these things are foisted upon you. Again, the big rocks are ones that you're typically planning. Like I said, they're aspirational. You want these to be true of you. You want them to be a part of your life. A lot of gravel just happens to you. A lot of the gravel, these medium-sized rocks in here, okay, this detritus, just happens. A flat tire, you didn't choose that. It just happened. You didn't choose to be sick. It just happened. And if you are wise, you will know at the year's outset, that's going to be a part of my life. Especially if you got kids. All of you parents tell me, little plague bearers, right? Little plague bearers, they're going to get you sick, okay? Seems to me that it would be wise to bake into your calendar, if at all possible, a little bit of cushion for the inevitable illness. Decide from the outset, here's a little bit of leeway around the start of a new school semester. If you've been down this road before, like, this ain't my first rodeo, they're in 3rd grade, they're in 4th grade, every single year this happens. Okay. Maybe plan for that. Maybe make a little bit of room in there. And then be pleasantly surprised if you don't need it. We'll come back to that too with empty space. But maintenance activities, okay, that's what we'll call maintenance. Next would be hobbies, pursuits, and commitments that recharge you, okay? This can also, I told you I'd come back to it, this can also include plants and gardening, okay? But they're different in the sense that In the former, they might be a chunk of your life. They might be part of the workaday. I said household chores with impact. Those are more like your garden is how you eat. There's a handful of people here in the Mafia who've done homesteading projects, who actively have these things, who are growing gardens, who say aspirationally or practically, I want to grow my own food. I want to be self-reliant. I don't want to have to do, rising food costs or whatever. I want to have healthy, I want to take control over the health of foods that I'm gonna, one, feed myself, and two, feed my family. So okay, that's a little different. That's more like the medium rocks that you bake in, that is now your life includes farming. Your life includes pest control. That's like a sort of a, it's a chore now. It's a day by day or week by week task that is part of your schedule. It's not an afterthought, okay? It's a part of your week. The same goes for, incidentally, like having something like sourdough. Hot Bride has a sourdough starter. She's got to maintain it. She got to feed the thing. And every so often, she's got to make bread. You get enough of it that you have to make bread. Like, it won't just keep for forever, and you don't have unlimited space to just keep adding to it for forever. So you need to make bread. Okay? It's like having cows. You need to milk the cows. You can't just be like, I don't really feel like milking them anymore. That was kind of annoying. No, the cows must be milked, or you will cause them suffering, like misery and suffering, and they'll die. Like, you must milk the cows. Chickens, I don't really feel like going and collecting the eggs. You must go collect the eggs. They're like, you have to stay on top of these sort of things. That's a little different. That's the chores with impact, chores that matter, okay? This one, the hobbies, pursuits, stuff like that, these are the ones that recharge you, that aren't a chore, okay? That aren't a bake this into your routine, it's gonna keep coming up and it must get done and you must stay on top of it. This is different. This is if you've got a handful of plants. Need to make bread. Yeah. Also, hi Snake, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. This is, you've got a handful of plants because they add to the sort of zen of your home. Okay? It adds life, it adds color. Maybe, it contributes to your well-being, but it's not a chore. It's not a lifestyle. It's, you've got a plant or two and you stay on top of them. You make sure that they're watered, and from time to time you check for pests. That's this category of things, okay? Good morning, Sabrina. Welcome in. It's good to see you. The plants add to the peace or the zen of your home. The same goes for pets, okay? In the one case, maybe you've got working animals and you need to stay on top of their training. You need to stay on top of this. You must. It's a chore, it's a task, it's a maintenance thing. This is a little more like if you've got an animal that doesn't like have a job per se, they just are a source of zen or peace for your life. Okay, you like taking your dog for a walk. It's maybe you've got a bird, maybe you've got a pet turtle, whatever. Okay, like it's not. These are the hobbies and pursuits that recharge you. They just add to your life, but they do take time. So more rocks for these, okay? Casual sports would fall under this. This is like intramural leagues where you're playing softball. You're like, maybe you're a little bit older. You're not in school anymore. There's no like competitive aspect of this anymore. There's no more tournaments or whatever, but you go and you regularly play in season for your sport, okay? There's maybe you go shoot hoops with the gang during the week, pickleball. A lot of you got into pickleball in the last 5 years, all that stuff. So yeah, take care of yourself. Keep you tabbed. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate you. So casual sports. pursuits. This is hobbies and stuff that fill you up. They're not your job. Something that just adds to your life. These all take time. Next, and finally, for the medium rocks here, at least for what I've got listed, would be community involvement, okay? Community involvement would be like HOAs, if you live somewhere where there's an HOA, attend the meetings. Maybe if you're in a city or town or whatever it is, and they've got regular town hall meetings, know when those are, attend those things. Maybe it's writing to the Department of Transportation where you live to complain about an unbelievably ugly sound wall that they're putting along the side of Highway 80 and blocking the view of the Sierras, which is like with no hyperbole whatsoever and without like a hint of exaggeration, one of the most beautiful sights in the entire world. But they're gonna put an ugly ass wall in front of it. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Community involvement. Something where you live. Something that these are rocks that take up your time. Again, it's not your job. It's not the big rocks, but these are things that take up your time. Okay? Those are all the medium rocks. Some of those are good and desirable things. You can plan around those. Like I said, you can bake those into your schedule. If you are particularly shrewd or wise and you're like, again, with the sick kids and you're a parent, you're like, I'm going to put in a little padding for the inevitable illness and all that. Okay, so you can plan for the small rocks. Other small rocks, again, just happen. Just like some of the big rocks just happen. The thing with the client, the problem client, just happen, right? That's foisted upon you. Do you have the bandwidth to fit this thing in? Do you have the space? Again, we'll get to that asterisk at the end about what about the surprises. But yeah, a lot of the rocks just happen to you. Some of them you can plan for. Okay, that takes up a bunch more of the space. Most of the rest of the space, in a big way, is this gravel, okay? Okay. Next, I have faith. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy New Year to you. Okay. Next, small rocks. This would be, oh, here you go. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. This would be, sand. Okay. If you're really trying to fill out that space, if you're looking at your year, you're looking at the volume of that tank as your whole year. You've got the big rocks. Now you've got the gravel around the big rocks. It fills in. Now you add the sand. You shake the thing and it settles into all that little interstitial space. Okay? Sand. Small rocks. What are those? What are those? These are trivial or reactive items. Okay? Trivial or reactive items. And again, if you do all this first, if you flip the entire process that we're prescribing here, and you start with this big empty tank, and you pour a bunch of sand in there, it's going to be real hard to do the rest. Thing is, this is precisely how you and I typically live our lives. That not scheduled time. We wait for a big rock to surprise us, or we go, maybe later. We start instead with, I will allow all of this trivial or last minute stuff to take up a ton of my space. And when someone comes along and says, hey, can you do this big thing, this big important thing? You're like, maybe. And you try and fit it into the sand that's already in place, that you've already allowed in. And now you're working around the sand. Instead of what we're after here, our purpose here tonight, long-term thinking about our perfect year, instead of the sand filtering around everything else. You see? We want the big stuff first, the most important things to be in place for sure fitting, Then comes the gravel, all the necessary stuff, necessary good, necessary evil, that all fits in around it, okay? Then the sand can fit in. Not the other way around. Don't fill it with sand first. You'll find yourself in a world of hurt. So, what do the small rocks here include? First, I would say that these small rocks are things that if you can, eliminate them. if it's at all possible, or delegate. If these are tasks that you can hand off to somebody else, if it's something that can be delegated away, especially in a business setting, delegate them away. These are the first things to go on any sort of business scheduling, planning stuff, is delegate away that time, okay? Or delegate away these tasks. These are often distractions, okay? And again, the original, the beginner of all of this, the guy who kicked all this off, Covey, he said, beware letting this be the first thing into your jar, into your tank, into your calendar, all right? So these include daily errands. This is I just gotta make a quick trip to the store. I just need this one thing really fast. Oh, we're out of milk. Let me just run to the store really fast, get some milk. I just gotta go get this. I just gotta go get that. Just a quick, I didn't get this for this task. Let me just run to the hardware store really fast for this one thing. This is laundry, okay? This is just like, well, I really wanted this shirt today, so I guess I'll do a load of laundry, or I gotta wear this thing. Okay. As a rule for these things is if they are necessary things, you gotta go shopping sometimes. You gotta do laundry sometimes, right? All of this stuff. The solution is you bundle these things, okay? For example, we do all of our shopping for the week on Tuesday in it. One day of the week. That's it. We don't go shopping other days. That's it. So people are like, what are you doing on Tuesday? Well, a lot of things, but part of it is our weekly errands. It's not, let me just run to the store really fast and grab this one thing. It's, we put together a list throughout the week and we do all of our shopping on that day. And if we miss it, we miss it. It waits till next week. We do not go to the store every single stinking day. We do not run around. The same thing can go for laundry. Have a dedicated day, knock out all the laundry, get it all done and put away. Then there is no, where's that shirt? You know where the shirt is. It's in the laundry and it won't be done until this day. Don't just be doing random loads of laundry here and there. I know this changes a little bit when you're a parent and you've got feral children. I get that. Not personally, right? But I've heard the stories. So I get that changes some. Even still, bundle these tasks. Do them at one time, okay? This can be part of your meal planning thing. That was a bigger rock earlier, talking about long-term planning instead of just reactive, oh shoot, we need something for dinner. It's have thought out a little bit ahead of time here what your week will include, put together a shopping list, and when you go shopping, you'll get all of those items for said meals. This also helps you save a bunch of money. Instead of it's crap, we need something for dinner, let's just order in. Crap, let's just go out somewhere. Maybe you go to a sit down or a fast food or whatever it is. That's all time. Time. So daily errands, things that can pop up like this. Okay, another is doom scrolling or equivalent. This can be brought out about in a bunch of different factors with you guys. Doom scrolling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't even play. You already know what this looks like in your life. This looks like being on your phone, scrolling through Insta, in your bed when you should be sleeping, watching just one more YouTube video, just a couple more memes, just a few more Pinterest, whatever, just a few more TikToks, just, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Doom scrolling. It's just, and I'm guilty of this too, but in a different way. I have tricked myself. I've lied to myself historically in saying, I've told you guys this all the time when this happens to me, is I've got 5 minutes. I can continue watching this podcast that I've been listening to and sneak in 5 more minutes of it while I'm doing this. Am I really paying any attention to this thing? I mean, obviously not. I've got to split attention between things. So I'm obviously not getting that much out of the time. But very often also, it will distract me and it will make whatever else I'm supposed to be doing during those 5 minutes, getting dressed or washing dishes or whatever it is, I might do those tasks worse. And this thing is now distracting me, so I lose track of time. It happens to me all the time. If ever I'm late for something by a minute or two, it's precisely why. Because I have lied to myself. I have fooled myself into thinking I can squeeze in one more thing. Just a few more minutes of this podcast. Just a few more minutes of reading this book. That's a pretty common one for me. In fact, this happened to Hot Bride and I this morning. I was sitting here getting some stuff squared away for stream and for planning something and for the talk. And I'm sitting here, I can do this for a few more minutes. And all of a sudden it was, we have a doctor's appointment. Like now, I was going to be done and it was going to give us plenty of time to drive there. We still got there on time, but like, I can't just like fool myself with this. So doom scrolling or equivalent, okay? Sand. Lots, and it adds up, and you all know it. Next would be minor admin, okay? This is the administration of your household, of your life. This is sorting mail. This is walking out to the mailbox, getting the mail, deciding what to do with it. Open this up. This is trash. Toss it in the recycling. Do I have to reply to this? It's got a check. Okay, I gotta cash the check. Guess I can do the mobile deposit thing. I gotta, do I need to reply to this? Is this actually urgent? Oh, geez, I've needed to care about this. And sorting the mail, okay? Tiny home repair and fixes. Yeah, I've needed to get to this little thing. The sprinkler's behaving just a little bit weird. So let me go out there and just kind of mess with it a little bit. It'll take 20 minutes. Maybe it'll take 30 minutes, turns into an hour. I'm just going to go do these little tasks here and there, okay? That's what it is. No what? Define necessary though. So okay, sand. These little repairs, little things. Next would be interruptions. Okay, this is a classic, clear example here. This is non-essential calls, notifications, DMs. You're getting pinged with this or that from random things going on. Okay, lots of non-essentials. Text message that isn't necessary to accomplishing anything. It's just someone sent you a random meme. This is, for me, this would be my guys group. I'm in a group chat with them and it's like notification, my phone makes a noise and it's one of the guys sent a meme. And I'm like, it makes the same sound as other notifications that matter. It's on my phone. It pops up as a pop-up or as a, what the hell, a push notification. So it's on there and I want to clear it. And I'm like, I'll see what it is. Let's see if it's funny. Get a little bit of laugh, and then that's it. These things, okay? Interruptions. This is switch tasking. You're sitting there focused on writing, and all of a sudden you get a text notification, and you go, oh, and you are derailed from your writing, and now you are over here, and then if you go back to your writing, you're like, where was I doing with the what? Okay, just sand. Next, entertainment filler. This is Netflix, Prime, Hulu, whatever it is. This is watching a random series or shows of your friend said that this thing was pretty good. It's all right. Once you get past the first season, it gets pretty good, and you're like, yeah, all right, I'll watch that. That's this entertainment filler. It's not, it's going to change your life. It's not, this is the cultural thing, the phenomenon, and I want to understand the references. This is, I'll watch it. I can make the time to watch that show for no reason, okay? That's entertainment filler. Next, guilty as charged, perfectionism, okay? This is over-editing emails or any other correspondences. It requires a pithy, simple, kind of straightforward response, but I am going to over-engineer the actual hell out of it, and I'm going to make it take way more time than it needs. This is my go live notifications. Now, I don't want to do what everybody else does, which is just copy the link to my Twitch and spam it places. As part of the time I take to write my go live messages, I convey to you guys are worth the effort into putting in together something funny for you. Funny, meaningful, informative, useful, whatever it is. I put that time in for a reason. It's not useless. It's not nothing. But I spend too much time on it. Okay? It really should be truncated. It really should be me not over-analyzing. Is that punctuation 100% perfect? Is that the proper use of an M dash here? Or no, it is a proper use of an M dash, but I just used an M dash. Is that too many M dashes here? Maybe I can rework it with a semicolon instead. How about this emote? This one kind of conveys what I'm after, but I used it in the last go live message that I pushed out. You think someone would notice if I keep using the same emote over and over again? But it's funny, and I wanted to convey that this was humorous, and so I used the humorous one. And over editing emails and other correspondences, okay? This could be spending too long organizing or cleaning something. This is, incidentally, the terminology that was used for this at Pixar. This is talked about in one of these books I have up here called Creativity Inc. Okay, I've mentioned this book before. It's by Ed Catmull, one of the founders of Pixar, and its president for many, many years. He oversaw the golden age of Pixar and all that. And he described this sentiment, not in the same framework of planning things, but in the same vein of let's not waste our precious time and resources. He described the problem. He said, I believe there's actually a whole chapter called this in this book. Forgive me, it's been 9 years or something. He said it's the problem of the perfectly shaded penny. And what he meant was, if you're animating a scene for Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, whatever, okay? At any given time, there's the purpose of the scene. There's the central characters or components, items, objects, or personalities that dominate a scene. They're the point of the scene. They're the purpose for the scene, right? If it's Woody yelling at Buzz, there they are, and they're standing on the bed to do it. All right, cool. What's the point of the scene? What are you supposed to look at? Well, Woody and Buzz. But there's a bunch else in setting the stage, right? You're in Andy's room. There's his light back there. There's the door back there. Perhaps the window is over there. And he says, the problem that we run into is animators take pride in their work. They want to do a good job. And so very often, without thinking about it, they will sleepwalk their way into this trap, this problem. He says, perhaps in the background, because you want to convey that this room is lived in, that there's a lot kind of that goes on in here, that there's random buildup and detritus, yeah? There's random stuff about. It's a busy or it's a messy desk or whatever it is. And so in the background, on the side of the desk, or on the side of the desk, in the background of the shot of Woody yelling at Buzz, you've got a small little stack of pennies. Got like 2 or 3 or 4 pennies just sitting there. And you, the animator, spend an hour or 2 making them perfect. Those pennies, by gosh, by golly, they're going to be super good. They're going to be excellent pennies. They're going to be the best pennies. A mile away, I'm going to spot and look at those pennies. They're perfect. They're the right size. They're the right shape. They're the right proportion. They're the perfect color, right? And that the shading on them is going to be the sunlight from that window right there is really going to make those pennies pop. And then they're going to, like that. What's the point of the scene? It's not about the pennies. And so what they've said is, we've lost a lot of time to people who are working on a perfectly shaded penny that no one will ever see and that no one needs to appreciate, because that's not what the scene is for. That's not what the scene is about. That's not what it's purposed with. And all of that time and energy that you just went into the perfect penny. Sand, to use our language here. Sand. So, that's perfectionism. Guilty. And lastly on this list, again, a short, easy little list here would be impulse shopping. You know if you do this, okay? You've got time, you're at your PC, and you just kind of, I wonder if Amazon, I wonder if this, I wonder if that, I wonder if, and so you drift off into looking at deals, and maybe you look at room planning, organization type stuff and go, maybe the walls would look good in like this green that people are doing. How much does it cost for paneling? I wonder if this is like maybe I can quickly put this thing together that maybe I need another pillow. you know, we're going into fall. It'd be really cute to get like this throw pillow that has this thing, and I just... Sand. Time. Where you listlessly somnambulize your way into purchases of junk and stuff and things you don't need, right? This would be the same as you walking through any of the various home goods stores or Michael's or any of the craft Hobby Lobby type places, and you're like, not there with a purpose. I've only been to Hobby Lobby one time, incidentally, and it was prior to our wedding, just ahead of our wedding, with mere weeks before our wedding. Hot Bride and I paid for our wedding. We did everything on our own, and that was with the help of our community. That was the help of friends and family and everybody else to just like helped make it all happen, right? Well, part of this was a trip to Hobby Lobby with my cousin, who was like, all right, we're going to make your bouquet. We're going to make the bridesmaids bouquets. We're going to make this. We're going to make that. We're going to make the centerpieces. We're going to do this. And she had a plan, okay? We went into Hobby Lobby with a plan. She's like, all right, we're gonna need this. We're gonna walk up and down this particular aisle until you see something that you like that fits this. Okay, we like that. It was purposed. We did not stroll up and down the aisles going, ooh, look at this, isn't that cute? We were there with a mission, okay? The time was purposed. It was intentional. Very different than the sand of just, maybe I just go to the store and I just kind of see. Maybe I just go to the hobby store. Maybe I just go to the craft store. Maybe I just, ooh, that's fun. Sand. Okay? Sand. Okay, so that's all of that. There you go. Big rocks, medium rocks, and your baby rocks, little rocks, sand, okay? Now, we've gone over some of these. I'll quickly go past these again. Big rocks, practices and habits central to your faith or your worldview, all that stuff. Relationships, your nuclear family or your chosen family. Your health, again, stewardship of the meat suit and all that entails. Your career or professional development. Your personal development, your own oxygen mask first, your ongoing education, keeping on top of things, all of that. Okay, finances is a big one and planning for that. And then your community service, civic involvement of some kind. So your big rocks that basically define who you are, what you're about, what you prioritize, what you've decided is important, right? These are the things that people will, if someone were to be at your funeral and describe your life, these are the things that they'll call out. If they were in your tank. Not things that you aspired to, mind you. It's like, oh yeah, he always talked about really wanting to be a family man. No. You either were or you were not a family man. So, all right, big rocks. Medium rocks, this is your gravel, right? These are the supporting tasks. You handle these after the big rocks, ideally. But these are important parts of the big rocks oftentimes for the ones that you choose and that you want to be true of you, and others just happen to you. Again, routine work, tasks, and all the stuff working in the business. Household chores that have impact. These are the things that matter. Again, meal prepping, gardening if it's part of your life, pet care if that is a part of your life, the chores that actually matter that you have to schedule in, baking bread if you have to bake bread because you made the starter and now you have a commitment to upkeep, all that sort of stuff. Milking the cows because the cows must be milked. Household chores with impact. Then came social commitments. These are not the big rock relationships. These are still important though. Your block parties and social engagement with people. Short-term learning. Again, listening to podcasts or Gus Talks, something that you expect will have a consequence, an impact on you, or learning about your kids and their interests, even if they're short-term, because they matter now. Okay, short-term learning, not meant to be a I'm going back to school for a degree, but just a short, let's get informed about whatever. Then maintenance activities, car repairs, doctor's appointments, dentist appointment, being sick. A lot of this stuff just happens to you, takes up a bunch of time. Part of life though, inescapable. And then hobbies, pursuits, commitments that recharge you. They are additions to your life. They are not chores necessary to your life. but you've brought them on in any case. Having pets that aren't working animals or whatever it is, having plants that just add a little bit of zen, activities that add to your life, but they're not a dedicated, scheduled chunk of who you are. Okay. Community involvement, town hall meetings, involved civically with your HOA, whatever's happening, planning, going to that public hearing for how they're going to develop that empty lot across the road, that sort of stuff, okay? So all those are your medium-sized rocks. Then come the small rocks. Again, these are the trivial or reactive items, things that just come up or they are trivial, okay? And again, these should be the first things that you either delegate away or you eliminate from your scheduling and all of that. So daily errands, that ought to be bundled, but you do have to go shopping from time to time. That's going to happen. So that's got to do laundry, got to wash the dishes, Sisyphean tasks that are just a part of life. Best bundle these if at all possible. Doom scrolling or equivalent, however it is you're doing it. Minor administrative tasks, basic maintenance things like sorting the mail, moving the shoes over here, there, okay, like all the little things. Folding the towel just so for your sink. Interruptions, non-essential calls, DMs, notifications, getting memes from double-A's. Excuse me. Entertainment filler. Watching whatever trash that's not a part of who you are necessarily. It's not part of your job. You're not a film critic. You're not going to be writing a review of this. You don't need to watch The Office for the 9th time. But you just kind of do. It's a habit. It's a for funsies, whatever. Okay. Perfectionism. Again, super guilty of this. The perfectly shaded penny. And impulse shopping or impulse buying or just like scrolling for maybe I get this or wandering up and down the store aisles for maybe I get that. Okay. Now, how to tell? Because I gotta wrap up the time here. I'm not managing it well. How to tell if you're living by all this. How to tell if you're doing this. How to tell where you're at with this. How to tell if you're making it, and if you're nailing it in this regard, or if you're totally botching it, if you've got all this wrong, okay? How do you tell? If someone asks you, here's a surefire thing, okay? And this, again, super guilty of this. I've revisited all of this, the big rocks idea, in the latter quarter of 2025. A little bit before that. I was like 6 months of this, okay? Off and on, then the health stuff really kind of messed with things. But, okay, last 6 months, really examined this, and I'm like, ooh, I am in danger. Dead giveaway. If someone asks you, anybody, if someone asks you if you have an hour to hang out, maybe it's someone with work. Hey, do you have an hour for a quick meeting really fast? Hey, do you have an hour I could just pick your brain about whatever? Some person that you sort of vaguely know, an acquaintance of yours. Hey, do you have an hour? How do you answer? If the answer is, sure, I can make an hour, or sure, I've got time, or sure, yeah, I can do that, that's quite telling. It's quite telling if you've just always got an hour, or 30 minutes, or 45 minutes, or whatever the heck it is. If you are, like, all of the time bending and flexing, and there's never an answer of, nope, I'm booked, I'm busy, this is happening, this is scheduled, I can't, I've got this. You've filled the tank with sand. You've filled the tank with pebbles and little things, but not the big rocks. Your tank isn't full, and it's probably not managed well. This is the dead giveaway. If you're constantly able to answer in the affirmative to everyone who comes a-knockin' for an hour of your time, then you are reactive, not proactive, right? Simple enough. If, however, you had the big rocks already scheduled for your week, and your calendar reflected those as priorities, you'd have to say no to spontaneous one-offs. I gave the example of this earlier, and I promised you we'd come back to it. If someone said to me, hey Gus, I've got this thing, Do you want to go do this on Tuesdays? There's this hobby thing I want to pick up. We could do it Tuesdays at 1. Nope. Why not? Because I've got my business leaders mentor meeting at that time every Tuesday. Always have been for a decade. Again, I'll come back to asterisk on that, to some things. I'll come back to that. As promised, I'll keep coming back to them, okay? But that's a big rock in my schedule every week. It's part of a big rock that takes up a big chunk of my year, as it's a dedicated thing and it's a dedicated part of who I want to be. What I want my life to reflect. What I want my life, what I believe my life is about, okay? So I'm going to throw some caveats on this, on the if you always have an hour to spare. What I don't mean is that you ought book your schedule so tight that you never have time for fun ever again. That is not what I mean, okay? In fact, here's a twist. Here's a subverted expectation with this. When your calendar is first filled with the big rocks, far from it being instead a bank of sand that you're trying to cram a big boulder into, you actually have far more flexibility to fit stuff around the big rocks. There's none of this squeezing and heaving in there. It's, yeah, I can throw some sand in there. Yeah, I can actually add a few more pebbles. The big rocks are in place. You've got more time in your tank for the year, right? So it's, all right, sure. You asked for a few pebbles of my time. I can put those in there. Sand? Yeah, I can fit some more sand in there. Yeah. Not an unlimited amount, but yeah, you've got room for that. But not big rock. No, not like that. Can't do it in reverse. So the irony is, the more rigid your schedule is, when it includes the big rocks first, is you will find yourself more time for spontaneous one-offs. Don't miss this. You will find yourself with more time for the fun. Hey, wouldn't it be neat if we? Hey, we've got a couple hours. We should. The chunks of your day and your week. This is absolutely critical. Your week will already include things like dedicated time with your spouse, date nights, dedicated time with your kids. You won't need to worry about whether or not you're getting quality time. Or, oh, geez, anniversary's here and we haven't gone on a date in a while. We haven't had any, quality time together in a while. See if I can squeeze it in, or maybe I can push back this, whatever. You won't need to worry about that stuff. You've baked it in as a big rock to your calendar, to your schedule, to your perfect year. Your tank includes blocked off, dedicated quality time with the relationships that matter. Your actual family, your nuclear family, or again, the chosen family, whatever it is, okay? You won't need to worry about that. It's guaranteed. It's on your schedule as a big rock. So someone comes along and says, hey, you want to do something on Tuesday night, whatever? Nope, date night. Again, asterisk. We'll come back to the asterisk. But nope, that's a Tuesday night. That's date night. You want to do this thing on Sunday night? Nope, date night. Whatever your date night is, okay? Nope, that's your quality time. It's in your schedule. You don't need to worry about where do we do dates. They're part of it. You also don't need to try to make last-minute plans when you find yourself with 30 extra minutes because someone canceled or something like that, because there's no squeezing in family time. It's already got its own chunks of time on the schedule. Yeah, but I could squeeze in a little bit of, maybe I ought to. It's all part of it already. You don't need to worry about it. The big rocks go in first. Same goes for, incidentally, going out or gaming with friends. If you schedule this as, I want to be someone who's a regular part of this friend group, we regularly meet together. This is like all of you with your D&D groups, okay? There's so many of you out there who are part of a D&D group. Many of you are part of the same D&D group that's been going for years. You don't need to worry about meeting with those folks, do you? You blocked it out in your schedule. Many of you have that here tonight, right now. Well, it's Friday night. I'm doing D&D. I'm busy. Why? You don't need to worry about, oh, maybe I can squeeze in some time to do some D&D with friends. That's not how it works, at least from my understanding. I've never done D&D. But it sounds like you schedule these things. You get a time that everybody can commit to, and then they commit. You don't need to worry about those relationships. You see them every week. You're on top of it, as a matter of course. Because it's a big rock, and you scheduled it first. All of you folks have done this with those dedicated kinds of groups. So it's not a, gosh, if I can just get 30 minutes. Nope, I'll see them on Friday. I'll see them on Saturday. I'll see them on Wednesday. I'll see them whatever day you've got that scheduled. Those are big rock relationships. They ought already have dedicated time in your calendar. Okay? Example of this is my Monday Night Men's group. I don't have to see if I have time for them each week. It's on the calendar. People ask, hey, can you do this thing on Monday night? I cannot. I've got my men's group. I'm going to have whiskey and cigars with the boys tonight. I'm going to go see these dudes. I'm going to go build up rapport and reinforce the in-person gold standard relationships that I have. I'm going to do that on Monday night. Okay. Same goes again for my Tuesday business mentor meeting. Same goes for my CNR commitments, my rendezvous commitments on Wednesdays. And many of you have done that this last year. And that is something that I'm very proud of all of you guys for doing. For saying at the outset, I'm going to make time for this. What does that mean? It means before the rest of your year came around, you went, I will do this on Wednesdays. You were making a declaration, planting a flag, saying, this day from this time to this time is for rendezvous. It's for the CNRs. It's for hard mode in the Mafia. It's for humaning practice. It's for training. It's gym time, as it were. The humaning gym. That's what we do on Wednesdays at this time. Hey, can you do it on this day at this time? I cannot. Hey, can you pick up this extra shift forever on Wednesdays at this time? I cannot. That time is spoken for. It's a big rock in my schedule. Okay? Okay. If your week is dominated by small rocks, by sand, and occasionally you get some stuff in and you get some stuff done, it's time for a change. And that's certainly been true of me. That's certainly been an accurate thing to describe my week as being plagued by for the past year. So it's time for a change. Now, I promised you I'd come back to an asterisk item, and here it is. When you are building out your perfect year, when you are building out your calendar, so described, when you're saying, all right, big rocks here, and then I'll put in my chores, my regular work rhythm stuff, I'll put all that stuff in there, and then there's room for sand, right? You, as a default, throw in sand. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be slop, there's gonna be waste, there's gonna be moments that don't fit nicely together. There's gonna be, go deal with the mail, go do with the laundry, right? Go shopping get your groceries. There's gonna be that sand. So there's like a minimum amount of sand that ends up in this tank, kind of no matter what. Okay, same thing goes with the rocks. Again, flat tires, vehicle maintenance, you gotta go to the gas station to fill up, all that stuff. There's like a minimum amount of that as a baseline. It's gotta go in there. Now my question, and the thing that I put to you guys,
I don't apologize to take care of my family.
Trotsky, you
And
troublemaker.
I refuse to be a fool. Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
You troublemaker. Are we chatting or is this just preaching? This is,
I work my whole life. I don't apologize to take care of my family.
oh wow. It's teaching.
And I refuse to be a fool.
Kira got the
Dancing on
sub.
the string held by all those
Amazing.
big
Trotsky,
shots.
thank you for calling out Trotsky, Mel. I appreciate you very much. All these fabulous humans. Trotsky, my dude. I swear. What am I supposed to do with your like, my friend? No, this is not a just chatting stream. The just chatting stream would be reflected in the category of stream. But no, this is not a just chatting. This one is a talk shows and podcasts. So this is me doing the teaching. Yes. Thank you, Trotsky. I appreciate it an awful heckin' lot. I am, given how poor of a job I've done in my time management here tonight, I said I was not going to look at chat, and I have looked at chat. I have not had the dedicated time to include a paywall here tonight, not in any meaningful sense. Maybe, well, I don't know. If I want to field questions and go through all of that, I don't have the time for that. Not tonight. But yeah, gang, if you guys don't have a sub on Rumble, pick up a sub on Rumble, because tomorrow is going to be more Dishonored. Yeah, that one's going to be some of the silliness. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Yeah, pick up one of those subs from Sir Trotsky, this actual keeper, or pick up Rumble Premium, but go see it. Go get it while the getting's good from this dude. Skims, it's good to see you, my friend. Apologies, I didn't see you earlier. I think I saw the face, and then I immediately was staying on target here, and I didn't acknowledge you. I did see you. I didn't acknowledge you earlier. Sorry, my friend. It's good to see you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, my friend, and I hope this year's been kind to you. Okay, so what do we do about all this? First, the order matters for building out this year, building out this calendar, right? Filling up this tank. Big rocks first, best practices, then goes the gravel. There's a certain amount of gravel, it's inescapable. You can clean your life, you can lean out your life, you can go minimalist on a bunch of stuff. You can streamline things and shave off this and all. A lot of which I've done these last years. I'll cut out this little bit, and I'll cut out this little bit, and I'll shave a little bit. And then I did the big rocks at the end. Big mistake. Now, I was okay with some of the big rocks, but not all of them. And again, I got to come back to this asterisk. There's a minimum amount of sand that's going to go in there, a minimum amount of gravel that's going to go in there. If you fill it with big rocks and all these other dedicated things, my encouragement to you is don't immediately at the beginning of the year, where we're at right now, when you're looking at your calendar, planning out your year with big rock activities. Wednesday at 5, from 5 to 6:30, I do this. If you've got multiple kids, you say, hey, Thursdays after school on this, I dedicate this time to spend with my daughter. Okay? None of the other kids get in there. It's dedicated time with my daughter. Fridays at this time, it's dedicated time with my other daughter, or whatever. Okay, however it is you do it, dedicated time scheduled. Not can I squeeze it in? It's scheduled. It's booked. You decided I'm going to take parenting very seriously, and I'm going to take treating my children as individuals and loving them as individuals seriously as part of that commitment to the big rock of parenting well, right? You schedule that. Great. Avoid the temptation. This is something that's as much for me as it is for any of you. Avoid the temptation of using all this newfound freedom. Put the big rocks in. And then absolutely overload it. The idea of, well, I've got some extra space. Let's plan in some more stuff. Let's schedule out every single minute of every single day. Every moment is spoken for. It's I wake up at this time and I do this for 7.5 minutes, and then I schedule this for 4.5 more minutes, and then I do this, and then I get the 9 minutes for this. And avoid scheduling every waking moment of your life. Why? Because spontaneity. I mentioned before, you don't need things like squeeze in 30 minutes with your kid as a life-saving, life-preserving, oh God, I haven't talked to my kid in a month and I probably should. And since this call just got canceled, I've got 30 minutes. So knock, knock. Hey, kid that I haven't talked to in 6 months. How are you? Get away from me. You're not even my real dad. Like, no, not like that. Do it better. Schedule it better. But you don't need that 30 minutes. Don't schedule it so rigidly. You need spontaneity. What's the spontaneity for? Again, doesn't need to be for sneak something in with the kids, sneak in something with the bride, or the husband, or what? Sneak in a thing, a golfing round of golf, sneak in this or that, sneak in a couple games with the boys. You won't need any of that. Those are scheduled. Why not fill up your tank to the brim? This is for the one of these authors that I read called them "Oh hell yeah" opportunities. Okay, he said these are for "Oh hell yeah." And he says, my wife and I have a rule that if an opportunity arises, something we weren't planning for, it wasn't there at the beginning of the year, we didn't schedule for it, it wasn't a big rock that we company or a family vacation that we built around, it's happening in 7 months, let's make sure that would expand your empire, that would do this or that. And this person, who gets access to this person? You're gonna get to go spend time with them. The example of his was an incredibly powerful person asked, hey, do you have a couple days to join me for a skiing trip in Zermatt in Switzerland at the Matterhorn? It's like a working vacation sort of thing. Go spend some time with this titan of industry. That wasn't planned. That's not part of the family vacation. That's not part of this, but it's a once in a lifetime. Oh, hell yeah. What? Do you and your family want to come do this once in a lifetime trip? Oh, hell yeah. How do you fit that in? Well, if you've booked every single minute of every single day for every single waking moment of your whole year and you've filled up that tank absolutely all the way to the top, it's not going to be possible no matter what. But also, in thinking about this rock, about who I am, a big rock of who I am, I left this one out. Who do I want to be? Who do I aspire to be like? I want this rock to be true of me. We listed big career type things. Can part of that be capitalizing on spontaneous business opportunities like this? Spontaneous networking opportunities? Sure can. That doesn't quite cover all of it, but that could be a part of it. What about family stuff? You want to be a great parent, a great spouse. Those are two separate big rocks. Can a part of being a great spouse be include them in adventures? Include them in exciting one-off things where they get to go and see a part of the world that maybe they've not seen before. And yeah, it won't be like quality time. It's not dedicated date night. You've got that covered. But is part of being an incredible spouse capitalizing on moments like this? Yeah, it indeed is. Does that quite cover it? No. Being an incredible parent, being a sound, solid parent, same sentiment. Is part of being an incredible parent including your kids and what's happening in your world and in your life and bringing them along for these adventures? Yep. Doesn't quite cover it, but it's another piece of it. And slowly you see that a lot of these big rocks, it's probably not comprehensive, it's probably not all of them, but a lot of these big rocks, some of that space that they take up includes things that are covered by oh hell yeah moments, by oh hell yeah opportunities. Hot Bride had this happen a couple years ago to us, okay? Hot Bride said, hey, she approached me. Our financial situation was a bit weird that year, but we had built in some flex. We had big rocks in our lives, yes. We had done good budgeting, not like airtight budgeting with everything, but solid, really good bones on our budget and all that jazz. And Hot Bride comes to me and says, okay, so Red Hot Chili Peppers. She's like, I know you don't know the background, and I don't. She's like, I know you don't know any of this stuff. I know. Okay, so Red Hot Chili Peppers have gone through a lot of different band members. There's some staples who are like part of it, but the guitarist has changed hands quite a lot. Okay, guitarist has cycled out, and they've had a whole bunch of them over the years. Well, when I first got into Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is her favorite band of all time, when she was a little kid, she liked, I don't remember his name. I liked this guitarist, and as far as I'm concerned, he is the guitarist for RHCP, okay? He's the guy. No one else has come close. Everybody else is a distant second to this guy. Well, they broke up. The band broke up decade, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it is. They had a big falling out, big fight, and that guitarist and them went separate ways. The end. They've not performed together since. They've not done all. Well, the unthinkable happened. They reconciled. The band got back together with him, this guitarist, and now, oh my gosh, they're touring with him as the guitarist. It's this person, this person, this person, this person. And the band is back together. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I know we don't really do concerts. I know we don't really do much travel. I know we don't... That's not our lifestyle, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They're all getting older. They're gonna die from hard living at some point, or they're gonna have another falling out, and the band is together right now. What do you guys think about going to see them live while they're all still here, while the band is together? What do you think about budgeting for that? And not just budgeting for nosebleed seats that are up a mile away. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're not going to do it twice. We're certainly not going to do it 3 or 4 times. Let's get floor seats. Let's get expensive, up front, close and personal floor seats to RHCP in Seattle. We had to do some travel. We had to plan for lodging, go to the concert. The concert tickets were expensive. Turns out old rock bands charge a lot. That was it for her, an oh hell yeah opportunity. And we, as a part of our let's do relationship really well, big rock. Let's be incredible spouses. We also want to be people who can have stories like that. Not let's save every single penny for every single, like all of it is like squeezing pennies forever, right? That wasn't part of who we wanted to be. We wanted to live generously, and also part of living generously meant me doing this for her. So I resisted the urge to be like, what if we compromise and get you middle of the road seats somewhere a ways back? That's not exactly the same. And we did this. And we spent a lot of money on special seats. We got lodging in a hostel. Happy to say we stayed in a hostel. Big on hostels, okay? Stayed in a hostel, went. She had a freaking blast. I got to see her smile and live, baby, live. And it was super fun. And oh, hell yeah. We haven't done it since. That was it. It was the one thing. So bake in, as part of your planning, some space in this tank for oh, hell yeah. And then have as part of your big rock understanding of who you are, who you want to be, have that include things like, I'm the kind of person who sees carpe diem moments and I seize them. Not every single stinking one. That's different. Now I'm an irresponsible person. That's what I'm known for. But I see once in a lifetime opportunities, and I want to be the kind of person who can say yes to some of those. I want to be the kind of person who does seize the day. So, okay. How do you get a big rock of, hey, this thing came up in there? Plan for it. It's not really a surprise. You planned ahead of time for a big rock disruption. Now, there was a smaller asterisk earlier when I was talking about the Hot Brides health stuff. Sometimes in life, big things happen that you can't make the space for. A big rock comes along and, as I said, rocks the whole thing. It disrupts the whole shebang. And a lot of my stuff got derailed. This is where, in business, this will be a little less applicable in other areas of planning out one's life. But when it comes to business, this is something I'm trying to do for 2026, for this business, for me running it, operating it. I am, as you guys know, delegating quite a lot. I'm handing off hats, roles and responsibilities, chunks of responsibility to people that I trust, that are going to hopefully steward well, pieces of this. Why? Because if the big rock comes along of another health scare for one of us or for a family member or for whatever else, this can't stop. This project is too important. This humaning thing must spread. We must reach and help and serve other people. And if me as one man can't do that, then one of the big rocks that I mentioned before, career, professional development, the business, that's a big rock for me. A part of that ought be, and it won't work if it's all backwards, upside down, and it's all sand first and pebbles next, and then the big rocks, and it's me always working in the business, right, and never on the business. Part of that big rock is me working on the business. And in fact, that's what I should chiefly be doing, is working on the business. And that includes things like spread loading. That includes things like planning for the just-in-case contingencies. That includes things like delegating to people who can keep the lights on with intentionality, not just accidentally, not just, well, that was fortunate. So that if something like that were to happen again, you guys wouldn't even notice. Now, that's not to say I'm an interchangeable widget, and we all are. I'm not saying that at all. You're all individuals. You all bring something unique. But this was a clear-cut example of when this started. Now my digital media manager, who handles that whole corner of the business, big chunk of things, we had already been talking about this. We had already been talking about what it would look like to hand over keys, passwords, roles, to sign a contract. For me to hand off that hat. We had already discussed it. We had already, penciled in, the details, the broad strokes of, yeah, here's how it would work, here'd be the responsibilities, here's a schedule, here would be the expectations. We had already done all of the legwork. We had also already talked about it being a good idea. We had also already agreed, really, to the broadest of contract terms. We had also said, in saying that we want to engage upon this together, to have this relationship, this partnership. We had already done all of that. And then it was, yeah, we should implement that arbitrarily on the 1st. We should implement that in a month or two. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if we just did that? Yeah. Let's sort that out in the next handful of weeks. Let's sort that out in the next couple months. I could have had edits keep rolling out. I could have had the algorithms not think that I was dead. I could have kept all of that going. But I didn't get it set up ahead of time. Now I'm looking at this project, this business, with much greater scrutiny for exactly this. I'm looking at it with an eye for, should the worst happen? And that was pretty much the worst. Right? Life-threatening hospitalization for the better part of 2 months and all of that, and all of my time went to, and I lost, all the plates that I was spinning, I dropped all of them, right? No matter what it was. Again, my health, with sleep, with food, with fitness, with everything, with the business, every single plate dropped. And I was focused up on her. That's good, and it's important that I did that. And I'm not saying I should have kept everything else going and said, she's fine. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is proper stewardship of this business means me taking very seriously automation. Making this thing meteor-proof. This giant rock came slamming into our life, and here I am scrambling. Part of me doing this well means accounting for stuff like that. Do you see it? And I'm not saying everybody needs to have a contingency plan for every little thing. But I did say for the sand, I said these are the tasks that are trivial or reactive. And in all of these books and everything that's touched on all of this stuff, this is what they say is your very first thing that you delegate away. That you either eliminate, that's just cleaning up your life. That's just cleaning up the waste. That's getting rid of doom scrolling. That's getting rid of excessive or unplanned gaming sessions. That's that sort of stuff. That's cleaning up those things. But then there's also the things you don't want to get rid of or the things that you can't get rid of. Delegate those first. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to clean up all the stuff that is sand in my schedule. A lot of it necessary. And a lot of it, I won't be able to get rid of right away. I just don't have, I don't understand the logistics of exactly how I would do that in my every single day. One of the cleanest example of this that I've thought of many times is it'd be really nice to hire somebody to take care of these plants. Maybe not even just day-to-day stuff, but it'd be really nice to have a plant person that I could be like, hey, this one has pests, sort that out, because I don't have the hour that it would take to do that. Hey, would you go around and check all of the plants for pests? I can't. It'd be really great to delegate that away. But how do I do that? Let someone just give someone a key to my house? They just come in every so often? Do I schedule it? Do I have to, now I'm there, now I have to oversee it. I got to let the person in. I got to, all right, they're coming today. I got to do this and that. Hey, where's the this? Hey, where's the that? I got to, now there's security concerns. Now there's screening concerns. Now there's a lot of financial type stuff. I don't know exactly how I would do stuff that's in person like this, but there is a lot that I can offload that is, for better or worse, or for lack of a better term, sand. Little inconsequential things. Some of it not consequential, but are reactive chiefly. That don't serve the long-term goals of this project. That don't serve, broadly, you. I want to serve you well. Which means getting good at the big rock here. And not letting the big rock that is serving you guys well through the proper implementation and running of this business, and not letting that get waylaid by all of the sand and the little rocks that fill up my year. So this is my encouragement to each of you. Join me. Join me in being thoughtful about a 2026 that you can be in charge of, that you can be proud of, a 2026 that you are in command of. Join me. Grab a calendar, again, a digital one where you can move stuff around and play Tetris with blocks of time, your big rocks, your recurring items, your recurring commitment to community like the CNRs. Plan that out now. So it's not an afterthought. Yeah, humaning happens on this day at this time. Yeah, fitness happens on this day at this time, or these days at this time. Plan those things now. Join me. Plan your perfect year. Now, we'll make mistakes. I'm new to this too, in some respects. We'll make mistakes, and we can refine those later. You can refine as you go along. You can try, like me, with a lot of moving parts and a lot of change, which is precisely what I'm going to be having with handing off hats. Spend Q1 going, is this tenable? Does this make sense? Is this sustainable? Do I like this? This thing that I said I want to be true of me, am I actually prepared to pay the price? the cost of ongoing maintenance of this thing. Do I actually want this thing to be true of me? Someone says, I want to read a book a day for the year. All right, reassess after a couple weeks, see how that's going, right? Like, what all else in your life might you want to do? Could that be an awfully big rock? So, assess. But this is the key to time travel. Tier said earlier, easy, get a bigger tank. It's incredible to watch these demonstrations because someone can just put in the big stuff and they go, is that full? Yeah. And then they put in gravel and it's like, okay, well, it was full. Is it full now with the gravel too? Oh, yes, now it's full. All right. And then you put all the sand in there and, okay, shift it, shimmy the thing. It all settles down and there's the sand in there. And now is it? Okay, yes, now it's full. And then you add water. You'd be amazed at the amount of volume that you can fit in that 1 year. You'd be amazed at the amount of stuff that you can fit in that tank. That's what I'm finding as I've drafted the skeleton around big rocks. This is for health. This is for this part of the business. This is dedicated time with Hot Bride. This is dedicated time to in-person community. This is dedicated CNR time. This is dedicated stream times. For me, it included stream times. Now, some of you don't have a streaming schedule and you just sort of stream whenever. This would be a good opportunity for you to go, do I really need to be streaming absolutely all of those hours, all of the time? Or is that costing me other big rock compromises that I don't want to compromise on, right? Family time, health, big ones. Maybe figure out, okay, stream is going to be at this time. So if someone asks, hey Gus, can you do this thing on a Friday night at 6 p.m? I cannot. I will be streaming. Hey, you want to do this thing? You want to do that thing? Okay. And the last bit on that, just to be absolutely clear here as I close, sometimes when the oh hell yeah idea comes along, you can say, yes, it'll have, if it's on a Tuesday during my normal lunch thing, yes, I can miss a lunch once. Maybe it's a week-long trip and it's a Tuesday to Tuesday, where it's 5 days and there's travel days and you're going to miss 2 Tuesdays. That's okay too. You see? If something crazy comes up and it's, guys, I've had an unbelievable opportunity and I have to miss a Saturday stream, that's not the end of the world. But if someone said, hey, Gus, you want to do this thing on Saturday nights now? And then I told all of you guys to bugger off, I've abandoned a big rock component of serving you guys well with this business and so forth. But as one-offs, yes, I can be flexible because I'm dedicated to it long term. I have the space, the credibility, the rapport, the patience, the earned trust, the earned faithfulness that you guys can know. Yeah, he's going to come back afterwards. It's not, he went out for milk. Where'd he go? Sure hope he'll come back someday. Nope, I can miss a Saturday. And you guys know I'll be back at it on Tuesday. And if I tell you I'm going to miss this day, you can be sure that I'm going to miss that day. If I tell you I'll be back on this day, you can be pretty well assured that I'm going to be back on that day. Now, the medical stuff was a bit different, again, which is why I want to automate things. But this is how you can bake things into your life and still have the flexibility for the, oh, hell yeah. And that can include family that you don't see very often. I just heard a couple of you talk about this incidentally. Like, I haven't seen this particular aunt or whatever. She was my favorite aunt growing up. I look up to her. She's in town. I haven't seen her in years. Can we miss this meeting? Yeah. What am I going to say? No. Tell her to bugger off. Live your life in such a way that the people around you also want to help you with this. Be reliable and proactive with your work such that your boss says, yeah, take that time. Plan your life with the big rocks first, then the gravel, then the sand. And we'll see what we can make of a perfect year. do you think about that? I think about that. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my rambly talk. My last minute rambly talk as I'm sitting here planning out my perfect year, or trying to make an honest go of this thing. I'm grateful to you guys helping me refine all of these thoughts, helping me put pen to paper in deciding how this ought look in my own life and be reflected in my own work here with you guys. I'm super grateful for that. Oh, my frames are super low. Is OBS crashing? Oh, heck. I swear. I swear. Wow. It is Struggle Bus. Thank you for dropping links, Mel. I appreciate it. It's true, gang. If you found any value in this, that can be traced right back to the feet of the people who have sacrificed to make it possible. People who, in their budgeting, said, as a sort of a big rock idea, a chunk of my budget will go toward something that I think is making the world a little bit better. Something I'd like to see reflected in the world. $5 a month. Gifting subs like Sir Trotsky here over here on Rumble. All of you on Coffee and Patreon. Thank you guys. It means an awful heckin' lot. In particular, I'm grateful to the public patrons Aki, Dano, Duckling, Leanne, Goose, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pre, Retro, Rick, Ryan, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, CG number 1, and Zin. Thank you guys. None of it happens without you. None of it happens without you. I'll be back tomorrow night. 8. No, not 8. I mean, I will be streaming at 8. But I will have already been live for 3 hours. Right. The new schedule, you guys. 5 to 9. We don't do the 9 to 5, we do the 5 to 9. 5 Pum Pacific time. Tomorrow night, I will be resuming Dishonored, which is hilarious. I don't know how many of you have been there for the Dishonored streams. They have been so stinking funny, I can hardly stand it. It has been so fun. I went back with the Hot Bride. I was reviewing footage to see if the recording quality was doing something. I wanted to see if the audio was split correctly. She happened to be here, and I pulled up this thing. We just watched, and I watched, I don't even know, 5 minutes of it, so 6 minutes of like the footage of it. I just needed to be scrubbing around, but we ended up like watching a chunk of it, and it was really funny. I thought it was really funny. I don't know. Just the ridiculousness of the pile, exactly. Also, hi, Caleb. It's very good to see you, my friend. Ticketmaster raised the prices like Disneyland. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was expensive. And that was 3 years ago? I can't remember. 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't recall. Yeah. I don't recall. But to the pile, make a short of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's going to be shorts. Caleb. There's going to be shorts. No, I'm very much looking forward, incidentally, to editing that stuff down because it is way funny to me. I've been having so much fun. You know, a lot of the edits, a little bit of behind the curtains here as I close. A lot of the streams, a lot of the games that I've encountered have been a bit of tedium. There have been a really small minority of the games that I've played that I'm like, all right, put on a smile. This sucks. Others, I don't do that. I don't pretend. I just let you know, this sucks. I don't like this at all. This game, I am having so much fun. I don't gotta pretend at anything. I don't gotta yuck it up at all. This game is hysterical. And the ridiculousness, the physics, the sounds, the squashing of the pile. It is chef's kisses for days. So I hope you guys, if you haven't seen any of it, jump on in. If you're not familiar with the Dishonored stuff, I would say actually you're probably not missing much because very little of the story is going to unfold. Instead, the entire stream is going to be the pile and the dedication thereunto. Dedication to the pile, you guys. It's very important. Very important pile. All right. Easy to make it hysterical. Oh, I know. Oh, it's effortless. Effortless, Caleb. Because it's so funny. Because honestly, it's also a good game. Some others, it's like, this is a stretch to make fun. You're right. This one, no stretch at all. All right. I took longer than I wanted to. We're not going to rate out. Because it's a serious night, and I don't want to do that. You guys have some deep stuff to consider. I hope that you guys will give a look to a calendar and see what this looks like for you, as I'm doing. And lastly, I hope that you guys will not try to do this alone. I'm not saying that this is like a thing that would be structurally part of the CNRs or whatever, but there's no reason why you couldn't include an update when you talk to your crew in a given week of, hey, I'm doing a pretty good job keeping on top of the big rocks. Or, hey, scheduling out these big rocks made a big difference. And I think that same language, if we've got this as a shared vocabulary item now, could be useful in group accountability. People might then ask you, hey, how's that thing going? You wanted this to be true of you, a big rock for the year. How's that been going? Have you been sticking with it? Accountability is going to be very helpful with this. Encourage one another to stick with it, to reap the benefits of this thing. It's part of what we're doing. We're helping one another, we're honing one another, we're sharpening one another. So, having that accountability can be very good indeed. So, oh, that's yummy. Next stream's tomorrow. 5 to 9. 5 to 9 pum. Dishonored. No raid out tonight. But I am grateful to each of you who've been here. All of you who've had a tab open on Rumble, it means an awful lot. Again, I get compensated. I get a paycheck literally just for you guys having a tab running. Just the bandwidth. It's like a meter that spins on their end, and I get money for that. It's not much, but it adds up. Okay? So all of you who have had a Rumble tab live, and it's been having a go of it. Watching the uploads that are going live. We've got another one coming on Sunday. More of the Stanley Parable stuff. Thank you to everybody who's watched the most recent Stanley Parable one, by the way. For some reason, it has really good viewership. I don't know why, but it's got really good viewership. So thank you to everybody who's watched it. I hope you guys have liked it. I hope you guys like the rest of the content that we're working on. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff in the works. A lot of stuff that's coming out. And I'm very excited for the things that yet lie ahead in the weeks ahead. We've got some special things that we're going to be rolling out. Some surprise stuff as well. A lot of things. A lot of irons in the fire. That's what it is. A lot of irons in the fire. Deus Ex Remaster soon. How about you play that after? No, I gotta play Dishonored 2 after this. Thank you guys for being here. Boom. Glad to have you back on the internet. Trotsky for the gifted, I swear. Mel, all that you're doing with dropping links, and you guys who fielded chat here tonight, welcomed in the new joins. All of you guys, old faces that I haven't got to see in 2026, and all of your guys' patience, like Skims here, watching me miss them for minutes and minutes, and being continuing to extend to me patience and grace as you have for all the time I've known you. Thank you guys. And it's never lost on me that you guys choose hard mode. It's not been foisted upon you. No one's got a gun to your head. You choosing difficulty says a great deal about you and the caliber of human that I'm fortunate enough to call friends. So it's to you that I get to raise my final glass of the evening. Cheers. I'm not going to shoot that. There's quite a lot left. I'm going to nurse this. I'm not going to shoot it. All right. What does it look like? What does it look like to live this stuff, to practice this stuff, to work at this stuff alongside the men and women of the Mafia who've agreed to try doing the same? Follow on Rumble, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, join the Mafia community Discord, and see what we've got in store for this year. What does it look like to live this stuff for realsies? Come and see. Come and see. And as ever, I will strive to see that it's a decision that you don't regret. In the meantime, I wish for you each marvelous evenings, mornings, wherever you be. And I'll see you on the other side.